This week on Nakuru Weekly, President William Ruto began the week by hosting a group of artists who briefed him on the challenges affecting their sector. He also met with over 600 leaders from the African Independent Pentecostal Church of Africa, where he reaffirmed the government's commitment to working with leaders across the political spectrum to address the country's pressing challenges and accelerate economic transformation. Later in the week, the president held talks with Executive Director of the United Nations Population Fund, Dr. Natalia Kanem, during which he shared Kenya's experience with universal health coverage. Following the tragic death of Albert Ojwang while in police custody, President Ruto extended his heartfelt condolences to the family and called on the Independent Police Oversight Authority (IPOA) to conduct a swift, transparent and credible investigation into the incident. Continuing his engagement with local leadership, the president hosted grassroots leaders from Nakuru County to review the progress of ongoing government projects in the region. As the week progressed, President Ruto presided over the closing ceremony of the 23rd Commonwealth Heads of Prosecuting Agencies Conference in Mombasa. He urged delegates to embrace technology to enhance efficiency and improve the delivery of justice within the criminal justice system. To cap off the week, the head of state oversaw the destruction of more than 6,000 illegal firearms recovered between 2022 and 2025.
As has been said by the security minister here, equally protect citizens from rogue police officers and make sure that we hold them to account.
An effort underscoring the government's resolve to combat insecurity and violence in communities. Subsequently, he officiated the graduation ceremony of National Government Administration officers at the Kenya School of Government in Nairobi. He then concluded the week by presiding over the opening of the inaugural Murang'a Investment Conference, where he lauded the county's leadership for advancing agro-processing, strengthening industrial linkages, and improving market access for local businesses. Thereafter, the president met with former U.S. Vice President and renowned environmentalist Al Gore at State House, Nairobi, where he affirmed Africa's strong partnership with global allies in the fight against the climate crisis. That's it on Nakuru Weekly. Join us next week for more.
Thank you God. Nashukuru sana sana. Familia yangu sasa wanakuja tuishi kwa mazingira mazuri.
So nasikia niko na raha sana. Najua sitakula shinda ya kijiji tena. So najua pahali naenda ni pahali pazuri.
naweza sema nimerudi shule. Nafanya Bachelor of Business Information Technology Mount Kenya University.
Hiyo kasa ilikuwa tuna. Ni vitu ilikuwa tuna, sasa tumepata. Tumeshukuru sana sisi.
743 million. It is an amount that should be able to change our lives. Na hii serikali imeweka hiyo pesa na imepeana hiyo pesa. Sasa what we need to do is to evaluate wale ambao wamepewa pesa. Nataka nene angalia what have they done with that money. Because it must change your life.
I have given a directive that it must be on items that are beneficial to blue economy. And the minister and the ministry is going to work with county governments to make sure that that money is not wasted, it is not spent on unnecessary expenditure, it is not spent on seminars or buying vehicles or unnecessary buildings. It's going to benefit the items that will grow our blue economy and that will benefit the millions of people in our BMUs.
Historia ya kuanzisha huu mradi wa kuku, unajua mimi nimelelewa na babangu kwa mvuvi, na katika maisha yote hata tukiwa shule ulikuwa mpaka uone baba ametoka na nini baharini ndio ujue hiki itaenda vipi. So bahari na changamoto ambako kuna muda ufika ikawa kuna upepo kusi ile. Sasa ikifika ile wa baharini hakuna kitu. So kuna 2018 tuliona jamaa wa kufuga kuku hawa, tukafikiria tukasema hata tujaribu kulingana na muda ile. So nilikuwa kwa na mwenzangu, tulikuwa wawili. Kuna bro nyumba yake alibadilisha mabati, so ile mabati yalivyoangushwa pale tukamwambia asiauze, ndio tukachukua tukajenga banda letu la kwanza. Ile side ya kule kuna ile banda ile ambayo tunasema na hold lot 3. So tulijenga ikani banda ya hold kukumia. Muda ya kwanza 2018 mpaka kama 2020 2021 hivyo tulikuwa ni hapo kukumia 200. Tulipofika kuku 300, maana ilikuwa tuwasave tukiongeza hapo. Tulifika kuku 300 tukajaribu kuruma. Ilikuwa ikifika time ya kusafisha banda, saa nyingine tuachukua marafiki zetu wengine tuwaingiza pale. So tulivyoona kama kuku 100 alikuwa tufanya watu wawili, kuku 150 tukafika kuku 200, ilikuwa kuku 350. Tukaamua tukaongeza watu watatu. Katika wale ilikuwa tukitusaidia pale. Maana ilikuwa tukichinja kama hivi waja. Sasa ilikuwa tusaidiana nao pale, alafu wape kitu kidogo. Tukaonelea kwa nini tusiweke hapa tuingie full ambako toka tusaidiana kazi zote. So tukaeka pale. I think ni 2021 tulisikia hiyo, ndio tukaanza kusikia hii ya Kensford kwamba watu hizo grant nini. So tulijaribu hivyo alafu ndo tuseme kama bahati nzuri tulipigwa simu tukaambiwa ile ni yetu imekubaliwa kule. Tulikuwa tumeapply kuku 4000 katika ile pale. So walivyopitisha ile tukaweza kujenga ile banda la pili. So kutoka kuku 100 hiyo mpaka sasa tuko na lot ambazo zina run ni kuku 1250. Pesa tulipata ilikuwa 2.9 million ambako katika 10% yetu ilikuwa 296,000.
If the total project cost is 3 million, then we have the 90% comes from the Kensford 2.7, then 300 is community contribution. So you commit yourself as a group. And majority of our communities are hawajiwezi. So we don't put cash because they're not able to raise the cash. We put in-kind. For instance, if we are constructing a poultry house, the in-kind community contribution, there will be a construction of the poultry house itself, the labor, the mandates. Instead of us hiring a contractor to build our poultry house, as the CG members, we will do it. Sisi wenyewe, we will do the actual rearing of the chicks, because if we don't do it, we need to hire someone who we might pay. So we normally have the cash and in-kind community contribution registers that we normally fill on a monthly basis for the community to be able to account for the 10% mandatory community contribution.
Hii mradi wa Kensford alituletea wale maofisa wale wa agriculture ambako kuna vitu vingi ilikuwa tufanya. Tunasema ilikuwa mimi ilikuwa ya survive, lakini ilikuwa kuna makosa mengi tuwafanya. Kwa hivyo walitufundisha masuala ya vaccination. Kuna venye ilikuwa hizi lots zina move. Sisi ilikuwa hizi lots zetu wakiwa wadogo kama tuseme tuvuka 350 ilikuwa tuweka 200 na 150 lot mbili, tunaweka mali kwa brooding alafu wana move hivyo. So tulikuwa advice kwamba pale mali wako wabaki pale pale, as in wakianza kuja pale from brooding mpaka wakianza kutoka wakibaki pale pale mpaka ile ukishauza unaosha pale unaweka dawa. Ndio kama kuna lot nyingine iko kule kando, kila mtu anabaki na ile, kama kuna outbreak huku tabaki hapa, haita affect ile lot nyingine. So hizo vitu ambavyo walikuwa hatujui, sababu sisi tulisoma tu local huku. Sisi kuanzia hiyo 2024 March mpaka sasa hii katika kila lot tumeenda lot 5 ambako kila lot moja ni kuku 250. Sasa katika yote ni kuku 5750 kuku ambao tumetumia. Katika hiyo 250 ni kwamba wanarudisha mali, as in capital inarudi, as in ni vifaranga, feeds, vaccine, vitamin ambazo zitatumika pale, as in wataregesha yote, wataweka kando, then watachukua profit. Katika profit watatoa 2000 wataweka wataregesha kwa chama, alafu hiyo profit wanatumia wao.
Kwanza kikundi chetu Palani Support Group 2014 ndio tupata certificate ya serikali, sababu kwa tuna save tu, kwa tunahudumia watu ambao kwa vile mtaani, watu ambao watu maskini. Sasa mambo kujua ni USAID kitambo miaka hiyo tukianza hiki kikundi. Sasa tukaambiwa tutafute kina mama, watu wote ambao wanaweza kuwasaidia ili tusave pesa, wafanye biashara zao, wasikae tu kwa nyumba. Sasa tukatafuta kina mama ambao na watoto ambao mtu aende kazini. Tukatafuta mama hao tukawapata, tukaanza kikundi na wao, tukakubaliana mtu aite kidogo kile kama tani 50 tuna save. Alafu tunampa kama huyo bado tunamenyana, tunampa pesa kidogo aanze biashara. Sasa tukaendelea kusave miaka mingi sana, tuna save na kila wiki tunakutana saa 2:30. Sasa ilipokuja hii sasa mradi sasa ikija hii mradi ya mambo ya chemistry ilipoingia, kuna mradi imekuja kama kwa kujiunga na wao watatuinua kibiashara. Sisi tulienda mara moja, sasa tukuchelewa. Tuliendelea tuenda hapo kwa uwanja pale Kadongo, kwa tunafundishwa wangu hapo. Tukaendelea kufundishwa kwa muda mwingi, tunafundishwa vile tutatumia pesa, sasa vile tutafanya biashara, tafauli kibiashara. Tunafundishwa mambo hayo yote, tumefundishwa vile tutafanya biashara zetu. Tukamaliza, ikafika mwisho wa mafundisho, tukaandika proposal, tukafanya kila kitu ambacho itakana ifanyike tulifanya. Baada ya proposal tukapata hiyo pesa. Haya, ilikuwa ni 1.5 ndio kwa kwanza, milioni 1.5. Sasa andika sasa, tukaambiwa kuna pesa tutapewa kwa mkono. Watu wale kununua vitu kama hizi meza na kutengeneza hapa hivi. Sababu kulikuwa na percentage fulani ambayo ilikuwa mradi wenyewe tutoe percentage. Tulikuwa tunaenda kwa account yetu tukatoa 1000 ngapi, 30,000 kwa account yetu. Tukatengeneza vitu vingine ambao tulikuwa tumetengeneza hizi. Hii duka ilikuwa tu moja hii pekee yake hapa. Hii tumeongeza baadaye. Tukapaka rangi, tukaweka sotairi ili ifanane na mashine sijaingia, mashine ndo sikaingia sasa. Inabidi tunimsao kwa tuandika mashine, tukamajika mashine 4, 20 euro kwa taka 2, overlock moja na super overlock moja. Na mashine za kawaida wanafunzi kwa tutatoka 4.
Nilisema nimerudi shule. So ile kiwango niliona as in monthly ile ambao wana save. Nafanya Bachelor of Business Information Technology Mount Kenya University, na mpaka sasa hii niko semester ya kwanza, nilijoin 2025 na mpaka sasa hivi fees nimeweza kulipa, manage kulipa kupitia ya kuku hapa. Na in terms of members, kuna member fulani amepata scholarship, lakini tuseme in final transport na mahitaji yake mengine huko anafanya diploma, so inamsaidia pia kulipia huko. Yani kuna members wengine walikuwa wao tuseme in terms of business, sababu hawa kuku sisi tuwauzia mostly watu wa bucha, mama choma. So kuna members hapa wamekopea wakinunua, walianza wachukua 20 per each lot mpaka sasa wanachukua 100. Na kuna wengine wako na watoto wanasomesha pia, tunasema ameekelea fees ya watoto kadhaa ni hapa, azini kitoka hapa direct inaenda kulipia wao. Community tunasema pia kuna hawa mama choma, so nao wanaweza kuja hapa kwetu bila kutumia transport kupata hivi. Alafu pili, bei ya kuku ambao tunauza hapa si sawa na hizi local butcher ambazo wauza, so kidogo community imeweza kupata kuku kwa bei rahisi hapa karibu. Tunataka kufungua, tunaita kuku shop huko mtaani, kuku shop azini. Tukiwa na kuku shop hapa pia hatuta rely mostly na hawa watu wa butcher nini, so itakuwa sisi production yetu tunajua ikitoka hapa tunaingiza mahali pale, na pale pia kidogo ukiwa na ile unaweza bei pia ukaongeza, na tunaweza uza pia tofauti, tunaweza ika ile assorted ile. Kwa miradi kama hii kukuza vijana azini, kama waweza fikia watu wengi ingekuwa vizuri, wajaribu ile miradi kama hii izidi kuja, waweze kufikia watu, ndio mtu kidogo wafunguka ile idea kidogo, ukaona waweza fanya nini.
Maisha yamebadilika sababu sasa kitu cha kwanza kama hapo kwanza kitambo kwa ukipata nguo, kama ukipata nguo ya kushona, utashona nguo polepole sababu watumia manual ya kukanyaga hizi, sasa enda polepole. Sasa ikipata nguo kama mtu kama nimepima nguo kama ingekuwa sasa niko hivi nitapata hiyo nguo ni doni aje achukue nguo yake. Sasa ndio sababu nasa kushona nguo haraka. Alafu kuna machine watu una ile pigo superlock ile finishing ya nguo chini. Sasa hii nashukuru machine niko nayo hapa. Overlock ni kwa mashukuru kwangu manual ambao ilikuwa inaenda polepole pia. Kwa sababu pokea nguo kutoka nje nyingi. Sasa napokea nguo kutoka nje nyingi, maana wanaomba nitaka mashauri na washonea hapa. Sasa nimepata faida. Nashona tu overlock, nashona tu overlock, na nashona nguo haraka angalau napata faida. Nilikuwa kitambo sina, hata nilikuwa sitaki kufanya overlock sababu overlock kuja yachelewesha. Yaani tukifanya kazi kwa tuna pesa, kama mwisho ukisha tunaangalia pesa ngapi tumepata. Tunasema kwa napeleka kwa account. Na tunataka kidogo sababu kwa account zote tunachukua pesa kama tunaangalia vitu ambavyo vimeisha. Nikipata pesa siko kwa account zote naenda kununua vitu ambavyo haviko. Ili angalau mtu akija, hata mtu ataka kununua kitu akasone kwake, mafundi wengine wasikose. Kwa mwaka tunapatia kwa mwaka tupatia hata Desemba tunapatia Desemba members. Tunapatia Desemba. Kila mwezi ukifika unapatia watu pesa. Sisi tusielewane. Kwa mwaka tuna save, kwa mwaka tunaweka kwa account, kwa mwaka ikifika ndio tutoe, tupatie kidogo. So tupatie yote pesa itaanguka. Hiyo pesa ilikuwa tuna ni vitu vilikuwa tuna, sasa tumepata. Tumeshukuru sana sisi. Hatukujua tutapata. Na sasa watu wengi wamepata, tumepata watu wachache sana. Wengi hawakupata. Sisi tumepata. Tunashukuru. Tunashukuru sana. Sababu tumepata, sababu hatuko nani atakupatia mashine za malaki? Hakuna. Tena mambo mengi yashakuja tuka apply tukafanya nini na tujai kupata. Lakini sasa tumepata, tunashukuru sana. Tunashukuru sana. Hiyo mradi ulikuwa mpangilio mzuri sana.
This is a sector that is supposed to give us 120 billion shillings every year. But we are not even getting 10 billion. So there is a lot of work for us to do, and we need to work together.
Tulipoandika hii proposal, sisi tulikuwa tunafikiri tuandike proposal ya 100,000. Lakini tukaambiwa sasa nyinyi mnafanya mambo environment. Tulikuwa tunaambiwa mambo ya 2,000,000, nikafikiri tutapewa 2,000,000 kweli sisi. Sikuwa naamini.
Tutawapatia shilingi 320,000 kwa hawa BMUs for matters alternative livelihood. Kwa sababu tuko na mpango maalum. Mimi nimesema tutakuwa na wizara ya blue economy. Sio kwa guesswork, sio kwa kubahatisha, sio kwa karata, ni kwa mpango. Kwa sababu nataka tufungue ile opportunity na ile potential iko katika blue economy ambayo imekwama kwa siku nyingi, na imekwama kwa sababu ya kukosekana mpango maalum.
Tumeanza hii kazi ya restoration from 2012. Ndio tulianza kazi ya restoration. Hapo nyuma tulikuwa tunafanya uvuvi. Baba zetu walikuwa wanafanya uvuvi. Lakini baada ya mikoko kuharibika na kudistractiwa, ilibidi samaki wakawa wanakimbia, tukawa hatuna alternative. Wengi wetu tukakimbia huku kwetu, tukaenda mijini kutafuta shughuli, lakini baada ya muda kuona pia mijini nako kumekauka, tulirudi nyumbani. Na ndio maana mimi kama mwenyekiti ama mwanzilishi wa Bidii Creek Conservancy nilishirikiana na wenzangu, nikamwambia ina haja tukae chini kama kikundi to form organization ambapo tutaweza kufanya restoration ya hii mikoko, ila mradi tuweze kupata samaki. Kitambo kamba wote walikuwa kisupply wa Mombasa County walikuwa wanatoka area yetu, na ikafika wakati kawa hakuna tena kamba. Kisa na maana ni mikoko imeharibika. So tulikaa, nikaona nina haja, kuna mwito uliniita, nikaona kuna haja sisi kama wenyeji msitu tuweze kuhifadhi, kuulinda na kuutunza. Ilikuwa si kazi rahisi, ilikuwa kazi ngumu. Kwanza nilianza na changamoto ya kulinda wakataji, manake watu walikuwa kikata kuni, wengine wanachoma makaa, wengine wanakata ya kujengea, wengine anakata tu kwa sababu yani anataka afanye biashara. So ikawa ni kazi ngumu. Kenya Forest ilikuwa ni jukumu lao, lakini hapa tulipo ni kambi ya Kenya Forest. Lakini wao pia wakati walikuwa wanapeana leseni ya watu binafsi kukata miti. So ilichangia pale pakubwa sana. Kingine kilichangia hii mikoko kuathirika ni natural cause. Kulitokea El Nino miaka 97, 98 ambapo iliharibu kiwango kikubwa sana ya miti yetu. Lakini tukashukuru Mungu, tulipoanza kukaa nilipata vijana wawili. Tulipoanza nao kaambia tuanzeni polepole kuanza kutembelea hii mikoko. Gradually tukaongezeka tukawa watu 10, na ndio tukasema hapo sasa to register kama organization. In that time tuliregister kama youth group. Tukawa sana tunadeal na waste management na protection ya mangrove. So by 2012 tulikuwa tusha register kama organization na tukaanza hiyo kulinda. Moving along the way tukaona sasa watu wameanza kusikiza mwito wetu polepole. Tukaita jamii, tukaitia kupitia machifu, wazee wa mitaa, tukahamasishana. Ikawa ni kazi ngumu, watu wakawa wanatuambia tunafanya kazi ya bure, tunajichokesha, msitu ni wa serikali. Lakini tukamwambia ndio, msitu ni wa serikali, sisi ndio tuko karibu na huu msitu. Na huu msitu ukiathirika, sisi tunaathirika zaidi. Along the way tukaona sasa huu msitu ndio tukishaulinda tumeupanda, ni nini tunaweza fanya ya kutukimu kimaisha. Kando na uvuvi tulikuwa tunafanya uvuvi. Tukawa hatuna vifaa, hatuna mitambo ya kutega, pengine tunafanya uvuvi wa local. So kaja ndugu yangu mmoja akaniambia kuna pale alitembea akaona kuna watu wanafanya beekeeping. Na akaniambia alienda Lamu akakuta watu wanafanya kufuga nyuki ndani ya mikoko. Na akanisifia sana. Akaniambia hata mikoko ya kwenye asali ya mikoko ya nyuki ni asali nzuri zaidi na ndio inapendwa duniani. So alinipa motisha kubwa sana. Nikaambia wenzangu sawa, katika ile contribution yetu tunafanya, tutafuteni hata kama ni mizinga miwili tuweze kuweka huko msituni. Tuone itatusaidia nini. By that time tulichanga katika contribution yetu tukapata mizinga 5. Mungu akatujalia tukapata mizinga 5, tukaanza nayo. Ilikuwa hatuna elimu pia ya kufuga hao nyuki. Yule ndugu yangu akaniambia tutakutafutia mwalimu kutoka Wizara ya Agriculture na Livestock, atawapatia basic. Tukapewa basic, ndio nikaanza kujua sasa kuhusu kufuga nyuki. Baada ya muda tukasikia kuna hii Wizara ya Blue Economy imekuja inatoa ufadhili kwa vikundi. Tukafuatilizia through Kenya Fisheries, tukaambiwa mradi umeletwa kwa county, unasimamiwa na county through World Bank. Tukakaa chini kama kikundi tukasema tunaweza fanya vipi tusaidike. Tukaandika proposal, tukapeleka kwa county. Wakatuambia hii itaenda kwa Blue Economy. Tukasema hii beekeeping kwa sababu tumeanza na mizinga 5 na tumeona kidogo tunapata. Tukiweza kupata ufadhili, tupate hii mizinga kwa wingi, itatusaidia kando na kuvuna asali, pia itatusaidia kwa kulinda ile mikoko. Sababu mtu akienda kukata mti pale kuna nyuki, wale nyuki wanakasirika. So tukaona itatusaidia two purposes.
Before implementation of the sub-projects at a community level, the Kemsford project provides training to the community groups who are successful for funding. Some of the trainings that have been conducted and are mandatory before implementation include group leadership and dynamics, community procurement and financial management, and targeted value chain trainings.
Tunaenda training nyingi, lakini muda si kuwa tumeenda tukifuatana. Yani tunaenda tunakaa alafu tunaenda tena training, narudi mpaka mradi ukaja ukaapproviwa, tukatumana tena hizo dokumenti zetu, yani budget. Sasa pesa tumepata 2.046 million na content contribution ni 247,000. 10% yetu ni in kind. Tulijitolea kupanda restore msitu na pesa nyingine ni zile za kufanya kazi.
In-kind community contribution includes labor and materials. The total project cost is 100%, 90% is KEMSFED grant, the 10% is community contribution.
Tukaletewa mizinga 140. Huo sasa ni mwaka 2023, 2024. Na kwa uwezo wa Mungu na kwa bidii yetu tunayoiweka katika mizinga yote 84 ime-colonize nyuki. Colonize nyuki yani imeshika, imepata ina koloni za nyuki. Koloni ya nyuki ni kila mzinga una famili moja ndani ile koloni. Na hivyo ndio tumekuwa tukikaa nao. Na tunashukuru tumeweza kupata mafunzo pia kabla tupewe mizinga 140. Tulipitishwa mafunzo kama kikundi. Tulipitishwa mafunzo ya leadership, tukapitishwa mafunzo ya governance, tukapitishwa mafunzo ya financial management, pia tukapitishwa mafunzo ya value addition. So pale tuliweza kulearn more zile tulikuwa tujui huko nyuma. Na ndio zimetupatia kiwango kikubwa kile hata saa hizi tunaweza sema, mimi naweza sema naweza kuwa mwalimu nikafundisha wengine pia kwa sababu ya huu mradi. Sababu nimepitia hiyo au mafunzo mpaka nikaweza kuelewa zaidi. Ile mizinga ya kwanza 5 tulikuwa nayo, hata bei ya asali ilikuwa tujui. Wakati huo tulikuwa tunauza asali kilo moja 800. Hata tulikuwa tunauza kiasi ya 800, 700. Sababu tulikuwa tujui thamani yake. Sisi tulikuwa tunafanya tu kwa sababu tushakuwa na ile ari tunataka tufuge nyuki. Lakini baada ya kuja kupitia kwa haya mafunzo tulipata kuona value ya ile asali iko juu hata kuliko vile tulikuwa tunafikiria. So wakati huo tulikuwa tunauza 800 na tulikuwa tunapata maximum kwa hiyo mizinga 5 ilitutengezea karibu 70,000 wakati huo nyuma. Na ile 70,000 ilitusaidia sisi kama chama tulikuwa tunataka kununua vifaa vingine. Tuliweza kununua bee-suit, hizo smoker, gumboots na pia wanachama wakajimudu kwa kitu kidogo wakati huo. Sasa hizi tulipopata hii 140 tulikuwa tushapata elimu na tukapata mafunzo na pia tukapata nguvu ile tulikuwa tunahitaji ya kuendeleza mradi wetu. Tulipopata hii 140 tumeweka 110 sasa hivi. Harvest ya kwanza tulivuna over 500 kilos. Na kilo moja tunauza 1,200. Tumefanya harvest mbili tokea tupate hii 140. Harvest ya kwanza tulivuna 550, ya pili tukavuna 400 kilos. Hizo ni out of 80 hives. Ndio tulipata hiyo amount. Na imetutengezea almost 1,140,000. Hiyo pesa tuligawanya katika percentage 3. 50% ilikuwa itaenda kwa members. 30% inarudi kwa organization ya maintenance na servicing ya hiyo mizinga. 20% ni contribution. Zile tulikuwa tunasema savings zetu. Hiyo ni savings ya some other projects tukitaka kufanya. Katika hii 50% tulikuwa tunasema tutagawanya kwa members. At least kila member alikuwa tumempatia challenge tufanye biashara. Kama mimi nashukuru niliweza kupata pikipiki, hata kuna vijana wanafanya pikipiki kama 2 size kwa barabarani. Kuna wenzangu wameweza kufanya mradi wa kutengeza shampoo, sabuni na wanauza. Kuna mama mmoja anauza samaki, kamba kama makaranga vile. Na bado anaendelea na biashara yake. Kuna wengine pia nyumba yake ilikuwa imeanza kuanguka, alirekebisha na sasa hiyo uko vizuri hata ameweka mpaka stima. So tunaona in the next 1 year tena ingine tukiendelea kufanya hivyo, sisi kama wanachama inawezekana pia tukakaa kwenye nyumba za gorofa na za tiles kupitia huu mradi. Tunawake sisi tulikuwa tumeweza kukaa nyumba za udongo sababu ndio hali zetu. Lakini tukiendelea kujishika na huu mradi ukitununuku na tuendeleze vizuri, tuna imani kama organization tunaweza kuata na gari yetu, tunaweza toka hapa tukasema tuna supply Nairobi, tuna supply Kisumu. Hiyo ndio malengo yetu. Na upande wa blue economy tungependa kushukuru sana kwa huu mradi waliouleta. Sababu huu mradi wa KEMSFED kando na mimi binafsi kama kikundi changu na mimi binafsi, ile benefit nimepata sikutarajia kwa upande wa serikali wanaweza kutusupport kiasi hicho. Na ningeomba kama kuna vile wanaweza kuongezea support, hizi vikundi zingine bado ziendelee kukuzwa. Hii approach wamechukua, hii group model approach, ni approach nyingine mimi nimeipenda sana. Sababu ni from the grassroots level. Sisi watu wa chini tulikuwa tunafikiria hivyo miradi mikubwa inaenda huko juu tu. Lakini tulipoona imekuja kutufikia, tulipoandika hii proposal, sisi tulikuwa tunafikiri tuandike proposal ya 100,000. Lakini tukaambiwa sasa nyinyi mnafanya mambo environment. Tulikuwa tunaambiwa mambo ya 2,000,000, nikafikiri tutapewa 2,000,000 kweli sisi. Sikuwa naamini. Lakini baada ya kupitia hiyo process, tulipokuja kufikia sasa pale tunatakana tufundishwe ndio tuambiwe pesa imeingia. Hata wanachama wote, yani kama siku ilikuwa ni sherehe kwa kila mtu. Sababu tuliona serikali kweli imetutambua na imeona kuna umuhimu wa kutufanya. Kwa hivyo ni pongezi langu kubwa ni kwa Wizara ya Blue Economy, Kenya Fisheries na serikali yote kwa jumla. Kama tutaendelea na approaches za kuangalia jamii kwa kiwango kidogo kile tunaweza, na kama kuna ufadhili mwingine unaweza patikana, changamoto huwa hazikosekani. Lakini tukienda hand in hand, mkono kwa mkono hivi, kama vile hivi Kemsfed. Kwanza Kemsfed mimi nashukuru na kitu kimoja. Huu mradi ulikuja kwa sababu ya umenifurahisha na kitu kimoja. Si ule mradi unapewa pesa alafu unaachwa. Ni mradi unafundishwa alafu ndio upewe pesa. Na baada ya kupewa ile pesa wanakufuatilizia waone pale una changamoto wa kusaidia. Pale unaona hata marketing. Sasa hivi tuko kwenye process, wanatuambia watatusaidia katika marketing. Production yetu ikiwa kubwa watatusaidia hata tupeleke nje. So unaona yani ni kongole kwao sana. Sababu si kitu ya kawaida mtu wa chini kusaidika hivyo. Sisi tumeona kwetu yani ni big time sana. Na tumeshukuru sana kwa hilo. Na tunapongeza na tunaomba yani Mungu ajalie aniendelee hivyo hivyo.
We are going to spend 10 billion shillings on this program. And I have given a directive that it must be on items that are beneficial to blue economy. And the minister and the ministry is going to work with county governments to make sure that that money is not wasted, it is not spent on unnecessary expenditure, it is not spent on seminars or buying vehicles or unnecessary buildings. It's going to benefit the items that will grow our blue economy and that will benefit the millions of people in our BMUs.
Conservation! Restoration and protection! Restoration and protection! Restoration and protection!
Yes, habari ya Nakuru County. Nzuri, welcome your excellency. Nakuru. Habari Kihagi. Salama sana, karibu your excellency. Nakuru County will host over 16 municipalities. We effectively participated in Kenya's one. Yes. We were able to do the Naivasha food and market. That is for us. Very good. The Afra Stadium, we did the two pavilions covering about 10,000. We are happy that the commission now phase 1 and 2 covering about 6,000. We've done the resource center is there. We've also done infrastructure to make our city just inclusive and resilient. You've hearing in our assistant in affordable housing. That's Bahati. That's Bahati. So Bahati is ready. Bahati is ready. Kidogo tu alafu Bagwan is ready. Bagwan is ready. Quite a number of others are just about to begin. Very good. Yes. We also, through the government, are very grateful about the marketing programs. Very good. Programs. Yes. Including the metropolitan market, which is just about to begin. Very good. So we are very, very happy. The one in town. Yes, the one in town. Very good. Our stadiums, including on the road, we are doing very well. And we really thank you for the love. Hello. How are you? This is in charge of the bank and the work. Very, very good. A bit of a show report. Yes.
Nakuru spatial data infrastructure. Yes, so very interesting work. Also some work that we'll be doing under KISIP with the youth to work on digital public works for them to collect data in the informal settlements to inform the project. It's a very successful initiative the PS is leading. So we are very happy to be supporting.
Thank you very much.
Program where we are supporting our municipalities and urban areas to provide infrastructure and set up their governance structures. And this is also the home of your Legacy Markets project, whereby we're implementing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes. The ESPs, modern markets. Yes, sir.
Your Excellency, the last program is on building climate resilience with the urban poor, which you launched during the African Climate Summits in Nairobi, and progressing. You have invited 20 African countries to be part of the piloting of the program, and we are moving on in that progress. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
You people are changing Kenya.
Yes, Your Excellency. Yes.
Very proud of it.
And thank you to your vision
Yes.
and the sacrifice of millions of Kenyans.
Yes.
You were powering the affordable housing program.
Correct.
And through our twin, the Boma Yangu, which is the entry point for the affordable housing registration.
How many people now registered on?
Over 700,000 and growing. Particularly projects, the registration is spiking on a daily basis. So we're very grateful.
These are some of your.
These are some of the projects. This is now the landing page. Yes. This is 10 Meru, Lurambi. 100 projects on this platform. It's actually also so fast. So we're also very proud to be partnering with
Bahati phase 2 or phase 1? Phase 1.
This is phase 1, 220 units.
The one that's ready.
Yes. No, the Bonden is the one that is ready. Bahati is.
Project that we do planning and survey, and we do some infrastructure. And as part of the process, we use drones to get some minor details. Like if you see the settlement over there is Kindungun in Mombasa, it is fully backed. If we use drone imagery, we cannot really get the corridors. So we use the drone images because of the precision that it has. And from that one now, we can do the planning process, on which we have there the titling process, and then from there also we have some CIDBs that we do, like the funding platforms being the CIDBs by some of the community prioritization, and those are some of the infrastructure we've done in Nakuru, and that one is one of the settlements, Kiamurok in Nakuru. Thank you, sir. Yes.
And then you end up with formalizing.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, both affordable and normal mortgages. Yes, we are doing 9.5, and we are also giving all the Kenyans mortgages across the country. We provide 9.5 for a mortgage for affordable housing. We are also giving loans to developers who are putting houses to build. We partnered with the Affordable Housing Board to give mortgages and to do TPS and 3%, 6%, like that. This KCB.
To finalize on that product.
Yeah.
On affordable health.
Affordable health. Okay, we are going to do that, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Affordable housing, very good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe
13th floor.
We're already at 13th floor?
Yes, we're already at 13th floor. Yes.
This one is moving very fast.
We are around almost 42%. 15 blocks, yes. Yes, we are around 40% progress. Yes. We also have city. It's still there. 10%.
Railway City.
Yes, Railway City.
Yes.
Also same number of units.
Yes.
And then you have the one in Kidiwa.
Yes, the one in Kidiwa. There's phase 1 and phase 2. Yes. Yeah. Phase 1 is almost 90.
My town is going to change.
Yes. Yes.
And then, of course, Your Excellency, the market 64.
Yes.
Yes. Where is the? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had issues with the.
Get it off the ground.
Yes.
It's off the ground. Yes.
Yeah, there was rock issues.
Yes.
And we couldn't blast it.
Yeah.
But it is going to be a fantastic market.
Yes.
You know, if you go to the ground and see this. Yes. I was in Kisumu.
It changes the whole landscape.
It blows you away.
It blows you away.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think you are somewhere in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can be dancing just a little. Side by side. Move side by side. Tucheze kidogo. Sing along. Jambo, jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Tupigie rais makofi. Karibu sana mheshimiwa rais. Tukaribishwa Kenya yetu, hakuna matata. Sing along if you can. Jambo, jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa Kenya yetu, hakuna matata.
Welcome, Your Excellency. With your permission, we'll start with a word of prayer. And allow me to now invite Jamal Mohammed and Ann Mogo to lead us in a word of prayer. Jamal?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Innal hamdalillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Sifa njema ni zote ni zake Allah peke yake, muumba wa mbingu na ardhi na vyote vilivyomo humo. Ya Allah, ni wewe tunakuabudu na wewe tunakutegemea, na twakuomba utuongoze njia iliyo sawa. Twakuomba uhifadhi nchi yetu ya Kenya, rais wetu mheshimiwa wa Jamhuri ya Kenya Daktari William Ruto, viongozi wake, mashirika yake, taasisi zake, majeshi yake na wananchi wote kwa jumla. Ya Allah, twajisajilisha kwako na hili kongamano na mambo yake, mipango yake, fikra zake, majadiliano na mwisho matokeo yake. Twakuomba ujalie mkusanyiko huu uwe wa amani na huruma. Twakuomba Allah, kama vile ulivyotuamrisha, ututakabalie kama vile ulivyotuahidi, kwani wewe Allah ni mwenye ahadi. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sallam. Amin. Amen.
Heavenly Father, we come to you with thanksgiving in the name of Jesus. In a special way, we thank you for the President of Kenya, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, present with us here today. Father God, bless him in all his ways as he continues to lead this great nation. Almighty God, thank you for the members of the executive, the judiciary, the National Assembly, and the Senate. Father God, we commit to you the governors of the 47 county governments and the respective members of county assemblies. Oh God, bless our leaders and give them wisdom. Everlasting Father, we thank you for the great people of this nation. Thank you that there are those that are in the rural and urban areas. Unite us and bless the work of our hands. Our Father, we appreciate the friends of this great nation and the development partners present here today. Thank you for those that support the development of Kenya. We commit the second edition of Kenya Urban Forum to you as we endeavor to transform the Kenyan urban areas and cities into sustainable, inclusive, and resilient settlements. We believe that we shall succeed in taking Kenya into the next level of development. Guide us as we participate in the activities and discussions planned for this forum. This is our prayer of faith in the name of God the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Kwa heshima naomba tuweze kuketi. Your Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, Your Excellency Susan Kihika, Governor of Nakuru County, the host county of this event, CS Wahome, CS for Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, PS Charles Hinga, Chimiao Fan, World Bank Division Director, Mr. Ishaku Maitumbi, UN Habitat, members of Parliament present, senior national government and county government officials, stakeholders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, sir, with your permission to start us off with a few speeches and remarks, I'll invite Governor Nakuru County, Governor Honorable Susan Kihika, to make some welcoming remarks. Why don't we welcome her with a warm clap? I hear her, some call her Suzy, Governor Suzy. Karibu sana.
Asante, thank you very much. And let me begin by just welcoming everybody to Nakuru County. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Honorable Alice Wahome, the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development, Mr. Fan, the Division Director, Kenya, Rwanda, Somalia, and Uganda, Eastern and Southern Africa, World Bank. I know we also have the UN Habitat, any colleague governors present, cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries, including Principal Secretary Hinga, State Department of Housing, Development partners present, all the invited guests, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And I speak to you here on behalf of the chair for the COG Committee of Urban, the Urban Committee, COG, Council of Governors. So it is my privilege to stand before you today at this defining gathering, the second Kenya Urban Forum, a gathering that brings together the minds, the voices, and the willpower to redefine the future of our cities and urban areas. This is not just another event, this is a national moment, a space where policy meets purpose and ambition aligns with action. A moment to pause and ask, what kind of cities are we building? And what kind of country will they give rise to? This forum is our opportunity to reimagine Kenya's urban areas, not merely as settlements on a map, but as the heartbeat of our democracy, the backbone of our economy, and the soul of our shared future. Your Excellency, the global story of the 21st century is being written in our cities. And in Kenya, that story is unfolding with urgency. Our urban areas are growing faster than at any point in our history. They are magnets for our youth, for business, and for hope. Our towns and cities are alive with energy, but this energy must be harnessed with intention. Urbanization is not an accident. It is a choice to either drift or redesign, or to design, to either inherit challenges or engineer solutions. Today, we choose to design. We choose to lead. We choose to build, not just structures, but systems, not just skylines, but social contracts. Today, we choose to drive. We choose to lead, and we choose to build. Your Excellency, at the heart of any transformative urban agenda lies one fundamental truth. Cities do not succeed by accident. They succeed by design. Urban planning must be anchored in vision, integrated across sectors, and localized in implementation. We must institutionalize long-term spatial planning that is digitally enabled, environmentally responsible, and participatory at every level. Urban governance must likewise evolve from fragmented mandates to unified leadership, from sectoral silos to whole-of-government coordination, from extractive systems to citizen-centered governance. This is not a technical exercise. It is about reclaiming the future of our cities as inclusive, accountable, and purpose-driven institutions of transformation. Your Excellency, infrastructure is the skeleton of the urban body, but service delivery is its soul. We must invest not only in more infrastructure, but in infrastructure that works for the majority. Roads that connect opportunity, water systems that do not fail, public transport that dignifies, markets that are accessible, vibrant, and well-serviced, housing that is affordable, safe, and integrated into the urban fabric, not isolated from it, and smart technologies that serve the people, improve efficiency, and enhance everyday life. Let us radically reimagine how services are financed, managed, and scaled. Let us embed performance, resilience, and responsiveness at the center of service ecosystems. Kenya's devolution framework offers the perfect vehicle. The urban grant system must become a results-driven, equity-focused instrument of development. A nation is only as strong as its weakest service. Let us make our cities bastions of reliability. Your Excellency, climate resilience is no longer an option. It is an existential necessity. Our cities are where floods strike first, where heat hits hardest, where droughts deepen inequality, but within crisis lies the seed of innovation. Cities must be re-engineered as climate-resilient ecosystems through green building codes, circular economies, clean mobility, and nature-based urban design. Let us position Kenya not only as a responder to climate risks, but as a continental exemplar of green urbanization, where every infrastructure project, every investment decision, and every policy reform is judged by its contribution to resilience. Your Excellency, no country in the 21st century will thrive without a competitive, productive, and inclusive urban economies. Kenya's economic future is urban, full stop. Cities are where ideas become industries, where technology meets talent, where women and youth hustle not for survival, but for success. Our cities must evolve for consumption centers to value creation hubs. They must attract capital, nurture innovation, unlock urban land for investment, and foster industries that generate jobs at scale, especially for youth and women. The informal sector, long marginalized, must now be recognized as a foundation of our national economy. Our policies must enable rather than penalize. Our financial systems must extend credit, not exclusion. Let us invest in knowledge cities, logistic hubs, digital corridors, cities that produce, cities that export, cities that lift. Your Excellency, we must also face an urban frontier displacement. Whether driven by climate, conflict, or economic distress, cities are increasingly becoming sanctuaries for the displaced. And yet, far too often, urban systems respond with neglect or hostility. We must commit to urban inclusion as a pillar of national cohesion. This means expanding access to housing, education, healthcare, and livelihoods for all residents, regardless of status. It means upgrading informal settlements with a sense of permanence and dignity. It means turning cities into platforms of integration, not zones of further exclusion. A city that welcomes the vulnerable is a city that strengthens the nation. Your Excellency, in conclusion, the cities we build today will determine the country that we inherit tomorrow. Urbanization is not a sector, it is the stage on which every national ambition will either rise or fall. We must treat urban development as a sovereign priority, on par with security, education, and health. We must build coalitions that bridge the public, private, civic, and community sectors. And above all, Your Excellency, we must lead with courage, as you often do. The courage to plan beyond political cycles, to act beyond institutional mandates, and to dream beyond the limits of the present. Kenya's urban future is not ahead of us, it is upon us. The time to unlock it is now. Let this forum not end in declarations. Let it begin the decade of delivery. Thank you. God bless our cities and God bless Kenya. Thank you.
Another clap for Governor. Thank you very much. Kenya's urban future is not ahead, it is here with us. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, sir. Next, we will have some remarks from Anna Claudia Roseback, who is a director, UN Habitat, via video. If we can have her remarks, please.
Your Excellency Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, honorable guests, distinguished delegates, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning, afternoon, evening to all of you. Habari zenu. Special thanks, Honorable Susan Kika, Governor of Nakuru, for hosting this event and for the remarks. The second Kenya Urban Forum is happening after the resumed second session of the United Nations Habitat Assembly held last month, during which member states, including Kenya, endorsed and adopted the UN Habitat Strategic Plan for the period 2026-29 to advance adequate housing for all. Amidst the growing global housing crisis affecting all regions of the world, the UN Habitat Strategic Plan places adequate housing, land, basic services, and the transformation of slums and informal settlements at the heart of global efforts to build inclusive, climate resilient, and sustainable cities. By advancing improved access to housing, we believe that we can have an impact in tackling poverty and inequality, climate change, and humanitarian crisis. Our vision is anchored in a commitment to uphold the right to adequate housing as a precondition for people to live in dignity, safety, and prosperity. Under your leadership, Mr. President, Kenya's contribution in shaping the adequate housing agenda is remarkable. From sponsoring Resolution 2/7, Adequate Housing for All, at the second United Nations Habitat Assembly, to co-chairing the open-ended Intergovernmental Expert Working Group on Adequate Housing for All, the leadership role of Kenya in placing housing as the foundation of development is highly visible. Member states are indeed learning from Kenya's example, as shown by a recent visit by the open-ended Intergovernmental Expert Working Group on Adequate Housing for All to Nairobi's Nakuru Affordable Housing Project. Under my leadership as Executive Director, UN Habitat assures Kenya of its commitment to supporting implementation of the Affordable Housing Program aligned with the New Urban Agenda and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The UN Habitat Country Program document for Kenya, launched in June 2023 at the same venue during the inaugural Kenya Urban Forum, continues to guide how UN Habitat works in the country, including our support to counties, cities, municipalities, and towns. Appreciating the evolution as a significant tool for localization of the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly Goal 11. Together with multilateral partners and the government of Kenya, UN Habitat is strengthening program impact on the ground, building strong socio-economic inclusion and urban resilience, through projects such as Go Blue, leveraging the blue economy capacity of 6 coastal counties, and through designing and implementing a social and community-led incremental green housing in Nairobi and Kisumu. With the World Bank, we work with the counties of Garissa and Turkana to transition from acute humanitarian crisis response to sustainable urban solutions. We are also unlocking sustainable growth through bankable and comprehensive climate-resilient water-related infrastructure project proposals for the city of Nakuru, to drive solutions that protect our water ecosystems and address urgent water and climate adaptation needs. We are working hard with partners on scaling up these interventions to impact other countries for a greater contribution to Kenya's Vision 2030. As I conclude, Mr. President, the future is indeed urban. Approximately 68% of the global population is now living in urban areas, while in Kenya, approximately 50% of the population will live in urban areas by 2030. Yet, the World Cities Report from 2024 by UN Habitat informs us that urban areas receive less than 20% of the finances required for effective local action. I urge the delegates attending the second Kenya Urban Forum to think through the most suitable financing models for urban areas. Allow me also to take this opportunity to invite a strong representation of Kenya at the 13th session of the World Urban Forum in Baku, Azerbaijan. This will happen in May 2026. Appreciating that the journey of WOOF started in Kenya, where the first session was held in 2002 in Nairobi. WOOF 13 in Baku will have as its theme housing the world, safe and resilient cities and communities, offering yet another unique platform to jointly advance commitments to adequate housing for all. I must also acknowledge the strong support we receive from the Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Alice Wahom, and the Kenya Permanent Representative to UN Habitat, Ambassador Grace Okara, my sisters. We are deeply grateful. I thank you, Mr. President, once again, for the commitment to triple Kenya's statutory contribution to UN Habitat. Thank you. Asante.
Wonderful. And in case you had missed the theme is actually "The Future is Urban, Driving Kenya's Urban Transformation." Your Excellency, sir, present in the room, we also have World Bank. And allow me at this point to invite Chimiao Fan, who's a World Bank Division Director, to make a few remarks. Why don't we welcome him with a clap? Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Your Excellency, President Ruto, Honorable Cabinet Secretaries, Governors, Principal Secretaries, other senior government representatives, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Jumbo. It is an honor, indeed a privilege, to participate in the second Kenya Urban Forum and to represent the World Bank Group at this important event. This forum brings together key stakeholders to discuss crucial issues related to the rapid urbanization and how we can collectively advance the urban development agenda in Kenya. As you all know well, more than half of the world's population currently lives in cities. And this figure is expected to rise to nearly 70% by 2050. In Kenya, our urban population is growing at an estimated rate of 4.3% annually, one of the fastest globally. And Kenya's urban population is projected to reach 50% very soon, by 2050 at the latest. This very rapid urbanization clearly presents significant challenges in terms of access to jobs, housing, infrastructure, and urban service delivery. It has, in many cases, led to congestions, air pollution, environmental degradation, infrastructure bottlenecks, large informal settlements, and slums. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, these challenges notwithstanding, if managed well, we at the World Bank Group also see this rapid urbanization as an important opportunity for development. Well-managed urbanization leads to the agglomeration of industries and population in cities, driving economic growth through specialized services, technological spillovers, and diversification. When properly managed, sustainable urbanization can be a powerful engine of national economic growth, creating jobs and enhancing living standards. As such, the World Bank Group is very committed to investing in resilient, low-carbon infrastructure and services, safe, adequate, and affordable housing, an area I know Your Excellency and Mr. President is really dear to your heart, and vibrant local economies and strong and responsive local governments in urban centers. We are very pleased that our mission aligns with Kenya's goal of managing urban growth sustainably to mitigate and reduce inequalities and some of the challenges I talked about earlier. And our shared vision has resulted in a very strong partnership, and Your Excellency, we're very proud to have that partnership with Kenya for the urban transformation, which spans technical assistance, policy dialogue, and financing through initiatives such as the Kenya Urban Support Program and the Kenya Informal Settlements Improvement Program. These, of course, are your programs, Mr. President. And we are already seeing that these programs are having positive transformational effects, transforming lives and livelihoods of Kenyans across the country. While this transformation is undoubtedly a step in the right direction, it requires much more than just the financing. Achieving sustainable urban transformation demands a comprehensive and inclusive approach and includes data-driven urban planning, an issue, Your Excellency, we discussed earlier, effective governance, strategic policy making and coordination, significant financing and fiscal transfer mechanisms, but also bold investments in clean, inclusive, and climate-smart cities, and most importantly, effective implementation and execution. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, at the World Bank Group, we are walking the talk through partnerships with the national, county governments, municipalities, development partners, and the private sector. As you have seen during the exhibition, Your Excellency, under the second Kenya Urban Support Program, we are supporting 79 municipalities across 45 counties to deliver better services for citizens. We do this by strengthening their capacity to plan, urban planning, another issue you have emphasized that's critical, to develop and manage essential infrastructure. These include the municipalities of Kakuma and Dadaab, where the program will improve access to basic services for both the refugees and host communities, leading to improved livelihoods, social cohesion, and prosperity in these regions. In addition, we are empowering municipalities to enhance urban planning and service delivery by integrating geospatial data, digital tools, and data systems to enable cities to make informed decisions and prioritize their investments. In addition to our financing, we are also providing knowledge support and capacity development. A great example in Kenya is actually the Nature-Based Solutions Compendium report that we're launching today in partnership with the Department for Housing and Urban Development and the Global Center for Adaptation and the Global Center for Urban Climate Resilience. Apologies, the Global Center for Adaptation and for Adaptation. This, together with the masterclass program on urban climate resilience at the Kenya School of Government, will help to enhance the capacity of municipalities to design, to plan, and implement climate resilience investments. The success of urban transformation depends on making the right investments now. Investments that strengthen essential infrastructure, unblock new jobs, and build cities that are more sustainable and resilient. Your Excellency, as you indicated earlier, sometimes some of these decisions are difficult and may not necessarily be understood by by many of the stakeholders. It's essential that we use as much as data and evidence to make those decisions and to explain those decisions to the citizens. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, while having the necessary systems and infrastructure in place is vital, I believe achieving a sustainable and prosperous urban future also calls for us to be people-centric, as the Governor indicated earlier, with particular focus on the youth. We have heard this clarion call many times that young people are the present, not just the future. We fully agree with this sentiment and recognize that young people play an integral role in shaping the future and contributing to resilient urban development. This is not just about inclusion. It is also about harnessing the untapped talent for Kenya's economic transformation. And in the Kenya Informal Settlements Improvement Project, we have moved to harness the potential of the youth by training and equipping young people, including women and persons with disabilities, to collect and analyze urban data using digital tools to support informal settlement upgrade. So they are, in fact, providing that very evidence that's needed for decision-making. Their enthusiasm, commitment, and ingenuity are already contributing to more inclusive and resilient neighborhoods and cities, and we hope to see more of this in the future. The Kenya Jobs and Economic Transformation Project, Your Excellency, which you also know well, we support, is also aligned with this people-centric approach. The project aims to place quality jobs at the heart of development by increasing private sector investments, improving access to markets, and promoting sustainable finance. This $150 million project is expected to benefit at least 45,000 Kenyans, including 6,800 women, by creating new or improved job opportunities. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Sub-Saharan Africa's towns and cities are growing faster than any other region. Every new street, house, and water pipe is a chance to embed resilience, low carbon efficiency years to come. Climate action in Sub-Saharan Africa, particularly in Kenya, is not a luxury or a slogan. It is simply basic infrastructure and services delivery done right. Additionally, urbanization is not just about creating green and resilient cities. At the core, Your Excellency, it is about lifting millions of people out of poverty, ensuring they live in dignity. It is about securing economic success for future generations in the long run. I'm therefore very, very happy to see a diverse range of stakeholders, many of whom are present here today, coming together to deliberate on a roadmap for actions that can harness Kenyan cities as engines of green, resilient, and inclusive growth. Your Excellency, ladies, gentlemen, future is indeed urban. Let us build it together. Asante sana.
Next, Your Excellency, before we proceed to the panel discussion, allow me to now call on the Cabinet Secretary of Lands, Public Works and Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Alice Wahome. Tumpige makofi tafadhali. Karibu sana.
Makofi tena. Thank you very much. Yes, let's not be dull. Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Governor of Nakuru County, Governor Susan Kihika, my good friend, and your entire executive. We have other principal secretaries in this gathering. With us, we have the World Bank, Country Director, World Bank officials present with him. We have representatives. We've just received a very good presentation by Anna Claudia, the ED UN Habitat. We have other UN partners here with us, other various stakeholders, and very key to this gathering today, Your Excellency, for us to make here, we had a committee that worked very closely with my state department. Of course, we have Hinga here with his entire state department. Allow me, Your Excellency, to make a few remarks before we go to the high-level session by His Excellency, the President. Your Excellency, it gives me joy to stand here, share this platform with the key stakeholders to speak about urbanization, which is undoubtedly the future of our nation development. My ministry, Your Excellency, is privileged to champion the growth and transformation of our cities and urban areas, the very engines of Kenya's socio-economic development. This, Your Excellency, is the second Kenya Urban Forum, and it presents a unique opportunity to reflect on our urbanization trajectory and affirm our collective readiness to shape a safer, more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable urban future. The theme today, Your Excellency, guiding our discussion is "The Future is Urban," driving Kenya's vision for urban transformation. And it is timely and significant. While urbanization in Kenya is unstoppable, its management is urgent and must be deliberate. Our cities and towns are expanding rapidly, often outpacing the planning frameworks and infrastructure necessary to guide the transformation. Your Excellency, urban areas hold immense potential to drive national development and county development. This potential can only be realized if we intentionally invest in robust planning, resilient infrastructure, efficient mobility systems, and sound governance. Enhanced revenue generation, Your Excellency, from urban areas through property rates and other income streams can only deliver impact if anchored on accountable and transparent systems. Your Excellency, I'm pleased to report on the significant milestones made by the State Department for Housing and Urban Development in establishing municipalities across the country. It has been alluded to. In the last 5 years alone, over 100 municipalities have been established as envisaged under the Urban Areas and Cities Act Amendment number 3 of 2019, Our current focus is to strengthen governance structures and enhance capacity for effective service delivery. Before the advent of devolution, Kenya's urban areas were governed under local authorities as per the now repealed Local Government Act. But the new Constitution 2010 brought into effect a devolved system of government, introduced a third level of governance, that is the urban institutions. The Urban Areas and Cities Act provides the framework for classifying, governing, and managing cities and urban areas, outlining institutional responsibilities while embedding citizen participation and accountability. Excellency Governors, some of you are here. Governor of Nakuru is representing also the COG. You are here today, and you can attest to the role played by urban boards in enhancing service delivery. This progress has been supported significantly by the World Bank through Kenya Urban Support Program, which is now in its second phase. We remain grateful for this strategic partnership. Kenya has approximately 1,200 urban centers, and with 120 municipalities officially chartered. According to the 2019 census, 310 urban areas meet the threshold of a minimum of 2,000 residents and qualify for classification as towns, municipalities, or cities. I urge county governments to accelerate classification of these centers to allow more structured planning and development. Our urban centers continue to expand, often into agricultural and environmentally sensitive areas. It is imperative that we delineate urban boundaries to promote densification and protect land for food security production, for food production, to allow food security to a farm. And environmentally, we have to look at environmental sustainability, and therefore, when we expand into agricultural areas, we take the risk of reducing land that is clearly needed. And this will also ensure accurate census reporting for future planning, especially as we project that half of Kenya's population is likely to be in urban areas by 2050. That is how the data is looking at. As urban growth, and that means over maybe 30 million Kenyans will be in the urban areas. As urban growth intensifies, so does the demand for housing. The Affordable Housing Program, a flagship under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, sits at the heart of our efforts to provide decent housing while unlocking jobs, stimulating local economies, and transforming urban settlements. Your Excellency, we have seen renewed momentum in dignifying the lives of urban residents through housing and supporting infrastructure. The handovers in Nakuru, Kwaruben, and Homa Bay mark just the beginning. Many more developments across the country, in every county, are under construction, and many of them are nearing completion. They will be handed over in the coming months. These efforts are transforming our cities into inclusive, economically vibrant, and environmentally sustainable spaces. One of the pressing issues underpinning urban transformation is availability of land. Many cities lack adequate public land for essential infrastructure and housing. As a ministry, we continue to explore mechanisms to unlock land for public and private development, particularly for low-income housing. We are also implementing land management reforms through AFISASA to improve transparency and accountability. That means security of tenure. Additionally, we are reviewing and updating the National Building Code to align with the global principles of energy efficiency, safety, and climate resilience. Towards that, Your Excellency, this last Friday, we did sign under Housing and Urban Development and Public Works and Cooperation Framework with IFC. It will cover technical support. Our National Spatial Plan also provides a long-term vision for spatial organization and integrated development, while the National Land Use Policy guides optimal and sustainable land utilization at all levels. Your Excellency, as we engage in meaningful dialogue today and tomorrow during this forum, I call upon all participants, county governments, development partners, private sector, academia, civil society, to renew the commitment to the urban agenda. Let us remember that cities are not just places where people live. They are where nations grow, innovate, and thrive. We are hoping to create homes within our cities. In closing, allow me to sincerely thank you, Your Excellency, for the unwavering leadership and personal commitment to Kenya's urban transformation agenda. Together with these people here, Your Excellency, the agenda is in good hands. I also extend my gratitude to all participants for their dedication to building a better urban future. Your Excellency, that is the end of my written speech. Allow me to say that last week, there were voices from the trade unions. Trade unions are the owners of workers. And I think there was, in my view, an unfortunate understanding of the housing program and why we are building houses. Your Excellency, once we build houses, you have seen the joy in the people who are the beneficiaries. It is accessing them a lifestyle. Your Excellency, it is not possible for a government like this one, for a State Department under your leadership. It doesn't make sense for us to build houses, blocks of buildings, without the necessary accompanying infrastructure by way of civil works. Where need be, we are digging boreholes within the project area. We are doing cabro works to clear the spaces. We are providing sufficient access roads and lighting, markets, dispensaries, ECDs, that is the early childhood centers, primary schools require to be expanded. Once you bring 1,000 people, not 1,000 units, multiply by a minimum of 4, those would be 4,000 people. The area becomes an urban center. And therefore, we must ensure that within the Act, where we have been allowed to ensure that other associated facilities are built within the project, we will for sure continue to do that. So don't ask us why we are doing lighting, water. Hello, Allah? Allah? It doesn't make sense to do a house and walk away. Then you better leave the people where they were before you did the houses. And you know, we are moving people from informal settlement. Your Excellency, the next session is yours. It's a high-level session, Your Excellency. You will be moderated by my principal secretary because there are other partners in that session, Your Excellency. So allow me now to ask His Excellency to come forward, and please bring him with a warm, hearty clap. Your Excellency. We have changed a little so that you are the one to receive the high-level hinga. You will be the one calling the other guests to join His Excellency. And as they come in, maybe they will offer a hand to His Excellency. Thank you. Inga, please take over.
Thank you very much. You can all be seated. Thank you, Your Excellency. We'll call you. Okay. All right, Your Excellency, the program is not about just brick and mortar, it's about people. And you're going to have a conversation with people, real people, that you have made a difference in their lives. The first person I'm going to call is a friend of yours. This is Jerusha Modoni. Jerusha is a lady that you had the privilege of moving her from Nakuru slum
and she is the owner #1 of Nakuru Social Housing. Jerusha, go greet the president and sit next to him. Followed by Peter Mwangi. Your Excellency, Peter Mwangi is a welder at our Bahati Affordable Housing. He's a chairman. You can go and greet the president. Your Excellency, these are the new millionaires, by the way. You know? Ukimwona hivyo, hawa ni the new millionaires. Kwa sababu he got a contract of 10 million, akajenga dirisha, and so akikaa hapo hivi hako mbaya sana, and he's going to be our new homeowner. The next person, Your Excellency, is Lilian Nafula Wanaswa. She's a community health promoter. She's a community health promoter. She's dedicating her life to serve many Kenyans, providing healthcare, and she's also a new homeowner. Then, Your Excellency, I have Stephen Opio Odhiambo. Stephen Opio Odhiambo, Your Excellency, was a resident of Marigoine. Steve, Your Excellency, is also a welder and is also a homeowner at Marigoine. Your Excellency, the next person I'm going to call is Pastor Steve Baraza. Pastor Steve Baraza, you know him very well from Kibra, Soweto. He's been a great leader, and he has helped us with the high rise there, and he's also anticipating to be a new homeowner. Your Excellency, then I have Maureen Andisa. Maureen Andisa, Your Excellency, takes care of her parents, and she's also a resident of Kibera, Soweto East, and is also anticipating to be a homeowner. I have Peter Mwema, Your Excellency. I don't know where he is. Okay. All right. So let me then call a friend of yours, Your Excellency. And I know we are having a deep conversation about police, and at the heart is you're doing police housing. And she will tell us why police housing is important, Your Excellency. So allow me to invite Chief Inspector Judy Nyadera. Then, Your Excellency, we are going to be joined by the Country Director for World Bank. Again, kindly, you can join us, the Country Director. And then lastly, we are going to have Ishaku Maitumbi from the UN Habitat. Mwema yuko wapi? Mwema is here. Mwema, all right, and then a mic for the President. Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, I know it's fine. Just put the seat here. Mwema, you can come sit here. Yeah. Okay. Karibu, Chairman Mwema. So, Your Excellency, in this country, we are implementing a wonderful program. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I saw you being very emotional when you handed over the keys in Nakuru. It's probably one of the, to quote your words, you said, in your adult life and in your political life, it was the most consequential day of your life. I want you to kick us off by really just rehashing why that moment, Your Excellency, was the most consequential moment of your political and adult life.
Thank you very much, Charles. Good morning, everybody. Oh, sorry. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. And welcome to this session. And my friends here, karibuni sana. As I said at that moment, and I mean it, that this is a journey that we have been engaged in as a nation. This journey we started at independence, when we passed the first law on housing. It is at that moment that other countries passed the law on housing. Many countries have made huge progress. Singapore, Malaysia, other countries have made huge progress. We didn't make as much progress as a country. Successive governments have tried to implement this housing program. We went through different phases. We called it at some point slum upgrading, you know, to try and deal with this challenge. We tried, and we were not very successful as a country. I remember when, as deputy president, we tried as the Jubilee administration, part of our Big Four program was housing. And you remember, Charles, that my predecessor, President Uhuru Kenyatta, told me, I have a very good professional in South Africa. And you remember we came for you from South Africa.
Correct.
You had a good job. But we told you, you have a country called Kenya, which is your home. And you were kind enough to leave the job you had, much more paying than what we were paying you, but for country, you came and joined us. And we tried then to get this program underway, but again, we weren't very successful. When I got the opportunity and the chance and the privilege to be president, I said, this is one thing amongst the many things I want to do. And because it is the right thing to do, we have said here, I've heard the country director talk of World Bank, and all the statistics point to a future that is urban. And we have no choice about that future being urban, but we have a choice on what type of urban future we are going to have. Are people going to live in informal settlements? Are they going to live in slums? Or they are going to live in planned, dignified shelter that has dignity? And so, because Kenya is urbanizing, we've just been told by the country director of the World Bank, among the highest in the world, 4.3%. 50% of our population will be living in urban centers by 2050. Maybe 30, maybe 35 million Kenyans, maybe 40 million Kenyans will be living in urban centers by 2050. And many people ask me, who told you that Kenyans need houses? Why are you pushing this agenda of housing? You know, maybe you are pushing it for other reasons. But I have a simple answer. The answers, the statistics answer them. Kenya is urbanizing, the highest rate, some of the highest rates in the world. We will have 30, 40 million people living in urban centers. If we don't plan about it, we will be living in squalor, as many of our citizens are doing. Secondly, you have citizens that are living in subhuman conditions today. Go to any informal settlement. Nakuru, Soweto, you know, the famous Kibra, you know, just outside this hotel here, Karagita, just here, you have 10,000 people living in a small place. Go down to Molo. You know, I was in Molo and I felt very bad. You have close to 10,000 people living in a small place. You know, you have children staying in little houses with their parents. We had a confession from Kibra. It is the same in Kasarani right here, where kids, 10-year-old kids, are introduced to sex because they live in the same room with their parents. You know, those are the people who are firing my desire to drive this housing agenda, because those kids deserve better than we are giving them today. Those people in informal settlements deserve better from a government. And that is why you asked me about the consequence of my statement. That is why when I handed over the first keys on this program to my dear sister here, Jerusha, I said it and I meant it. It was actually the most consequential day in my political career, because we started to change the trajectory on how Kenyans live. And so that's why this moment is very important. And that's why I'm very proud that we are making these steps. And I must say, all the people who have talked before me, I listened to Susan Kehika. My dear sister, you made the statement I would have made. I mean, the understanding, I am very happy that from Susan to my CS to the country director, I mean, everybody, we are all appreciating what this is all about, you know? And therefore, this is a very important occasion for me and for us as a nation. And the progress we are making in this space speaks volumes about the kind of future we expect.
Thank you, Your Excellency. We shall revisit some of those aspects very shortly. But Your Excellency, you know, in this country, we've had people talk about shareholding. But right next to you is somebody who, I think when you talk about shareholding, the right shareholding is actually when you own something. And I don't think there is anything that beats owning your own home. And Jerusha, Your Excellency, as I said, first, she's a widow. I think the Bible and even the Quran, many scriptures talk about widows. And so when a widow cries to God, feeling forgotten, you know, and you see that moment and moving into her own home, I believe there is nothing that beats that moment. And so I want to ask Jerusha. She was homeowner number one. And a lot of Kenyans said at that time that those houses, the people who are occupying are not from Nakuru. So, and Your Excellency, I don't know whether you saw some stuff on the social media. They said that Jerusha is another lady from Kisii. So maybe she can tell us whether she oscillates from being in Kisii and being in Nakuru. But with all seriousness, Jerusha, kindly just share with us. And if you're comfortable, you uongee Kiswahili, hakuna shida. Asante.
Kwa majina niyo umesikia naitwa 001 Jerusha Muthoni. Mimi ndiye nilikuwa mtu wa kwanza kupewa nyumba na His Excellency na nikafurahia sana. Nafikiri mlikuwa mnaona kwa picha pahali nilitolewa kwa slums, kwa kanyumba kalikuwa mvua ikinyesha ilikuwa ni bara. Lakini kwa sasa hata mkiniangalia kwa ile picha vile nilikuwa nakaa, sio vile nakaa saa hii. Si ni kweli? Nilikuwa nakaa kashosho kama mama hivi. Lakini within 3 weeks mnaona niko na utofauti. So hii mambo ya affordable housing ni ukweli, sababu mimi niko na hiyo ushuhuda. Nilipewa hiyo nyumba pale pahali tulikuwa tunaishi, maji saa hii pahali ninaishi maji ni mingi na si ya kununua. Pale tulikuwa tunanunua maji shilingi 10 mtungi. Niko na familia watu 9. Ni maji ya pesa ngapi naweza nunua? Ilikuwa ni shinda, ndio unaona sasa ninaoga kwa siku mara 2 ama mara 3. Ndio unaona kauso kameng'aa hivyo. Watoto wanafurahia sana. In fact hata tule tushosho nilikuwa nimeacha pale, tumeama tu wote wamesema pale wakai. Hata ukituma katoto kakikataa unamwambia tunarudi pale, anasema hapana hapana nitume, sababu hataki kurudi Misri. So mimi ninafurahia sana, na hata wale watu wanasema rais anatembea na mimi Kisii, ametembea na mimi Kisumu nikipika samaki, ni uongo mtupu. Ni wale watu wanajaribu kupinga hii mradi, lakini haitustui. Tunasema kazi bila break, sababu alituambia anataka kuinua wale watu wako chini, awainue bottom up. Na ni ukweli, mimi nimeinuliwa, nimetolewa chini, niko juu, na ninadhani pando nitaendelea nikiinuliwa. Pali tuko pale, security ni tight. Pale hata kuna parking, mkikuja kuna pali pa kupark. Your Excellency, pia hata nataka unimbaie kagari niwe nikipaki pale. Niwe mtu wa kwanza kupaki kagari pale. Parking iko sawa, kila kitu iko sawa, so kazi iendelee bila break.
You can have a conversation with her, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Cherusha. It is true. Vile na kuona leo kidogo iko tofauti. Sijui ni kwa sababu gani, lakini Mungu ni mwema. Na sio Cherusha peke yake. Tuko na wananchi wengi. Lilian hapa ambaye ni community health promoter. Just a simple person. She's also a homeowner in Homa Bay, I think. No, in Nakuru. We have, many people who are experiencing life-changing situations because of where they were and where they are today. Cherusha here has told you, in the Nakuru slums, 3, 4, 5 families share a toilet that you have to pay to use a toilet. People, just imagine yourselves in a situation. Umekazwa hapo, you want to use a toilet, and you don't have money, and there are people who are asking us, who told you to build houses? Surely, people, let us be human. We have real situations that call on us to do something about. Cherusha hapa, kabla hatujaongea vile nitakununulia gari. Bado niko na watu wengi pale ulitoka Nakuru, hawajahama. That is my first assignment. Wale wako Nakuru pale hawajakuwa kama wewe. Hiyo ndio kazi yangu ya muhimu kwanza. Na sio Nakuru peke yake. Tuko na watu hapa Karagita. Tuko na watu Bahati. Tuko na watu many parts of Kenya. We have 1,000, I think 100 and something informal settlements in Kenya. 7 million people live in squalor in our country, And the numbers are not going down, the numbers are going up because more and more people are coming into cities. And we must prepare and we must, work ahead of time to make sure they don't come and join those in informal settlements. They come into organized, livable cities. And so, Cherusha, tuliongea wakati nilikuwa kwako. Wewe umepata kujua tofauti kati ya mahali ulikuwa naishi na mahali unaishi sasa.
Yes.
Sindio? Mimi naamini ya kwamba ungependa wale wanaishi vile ulikuwa unaishi zamani, vile vile wapate nafasi ya kupata nyumba vile wewe ulipata. Ni kweli ama si kweli?
Ni kweli. Hata wamenisumbua saa hii, hata wale walikuwa napinga mradi wakinitusi wanashindanga kwangu. Hata naoshanga nyumba jioni. Juu kila dakika ni ukweli wanakuja kuhakikisha. Nafikiri hata ukiangalia kwa TikTok wengi wanakuja kupiga picha na mimi. Juu wengi walikuwa nasema nilinyang'anywa, president alikuwa anatudanganya, Mama Cherusha amenyang'anywa vitu. So watu wanakuja kila siku, sasa wamekubali Sasa wananisumbua, tutajaza namna gani, tutapata nyumba namna gani? So ni ukweli, ninaomba pia na wao wakuje juu wamenisumbua sana.
Okay, so, and it is important for me to say this, to contextualize what Cherusha is saying. We have a pipeline of 700,000 housing units. We have the first 2,300 have been given out. Another 11,000 are in the stage of completion. We will be handing out keys. When I come to Nakuru, for example, in the next month or two, the houses in Molo are ready. The houses in Bahati are ready. I will be coming to do groundbreaking for the houses outside here in Karagita, because it is my intention that the people living in the slum here in Karagita must equally benefit from this program the same way Cherusha is benefiting. As I go to Molo in Nakuru here, I will also be launching the construction of 2,700 housing units in Kasarani. And for your information, I have been to Kasarani in Molo. It is, let me just say, it's not a good place, because you have people living in very difficult conditions. And I must thank the leadership of Nakuru, the governor here, the member of parliament. You know, they are also transformational leaders. They have provided leadership. We have got land that we are now going to build those houses, and shortly we will transform Kasarani, the slum, into a place of dignity. And we will continue to do this, because this is one thing I signed for as president, and I must do it. I must go out of my way to do it. And I'm very happy that there is progress. I'm very encouraged by people like Cherusha. You know, they fire my passion, because ukiona mtu ambaye maisha yake imebadilika, it validates the dream of affordable housing in our country. We have 150,000 housing units under construction. Our job will be every month, we will be giving out the houses that are ready. As I have told you, we have 700,000 in the pipeline. And as Alice said, we are continuously looking for pieces of land where we can do more housing units. We are working with counties. Very many county governments are now stepping forward to work with us on this. And as we do all this, it has to be wholesome. Mumesikia Cherusha amesema iko parking. Atakwambia pia hapo kutakuwa na shule, pale kutakuwa na soko, pale kutakuwa na hospitali. Kwa sababu housing is not just 4 walls and a roof. Housing, according to the UN, and I have the UN representative here, when you talk about adequate housing, it comes with many things. It must give dignity, it must be sustainable, it must be livable. And that's why roads are necessary, social infrastructure is necessary, hospitals are necessary, schools and markets. And we will continue to engage with stakeholders so that they can understand why this is necessary. Sindio? Taka soko.
Tunataka soko na hata shule iko karibu kuisha. So that time watoto watakuwa hapo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving along, Excellency, what I'm going to do now is, before I move to the conversation about the other impact this program has had on jobs, allow me to ask Lillian to introduce herself quickly. Then I will also give our sister, the Corporal, Chief Inspector Judy Nyathira, to also say something. And then I will also ask Maureen and Disa to just introduce themselves, because this She's a homeowner. You moved in Nakuru. And Your Excellency, our men and women in uniform, they dedicate their lives to serve this country. And we owe them a duty of care because majority of them live in very bad conditions. So I'm very happy that we have got Chief Inspector Judy here representing all the men and women in uniform. And we want to say that we have got a lot of police housing, military housing. I think in 2 weeks' time, you'll be launching 10,000 houses for the military. We have about 27,000 for the police. So I just want them to just quickly introduce themselves, and then just you can have a conversation with them. So let's start with Lillian. Just a brief introduction about yourself, then with Maureen, and then we will have the Chief Inspector.
God is good.
All the time.
And all the time. Our Excellency President Dr. William Samoei Ruto and all protocol observers. My name is Lillian Simiyu. I'm a community health promoter attached to Nakuru Health Center. I'm a mother of 3 and I'm a beneficiary of SEPU. SEPU is a slum upgrading program. I'm a homeowner and Mr. President, we say thank you. Thank you very much for giving us dignity. Asante sana.
Okay. Yes, Maureen.
Bwana asifiwe. Amen. Kwa majina anaitwa Maureen Adisa, mimi natoka Soweto na mimi ni kiongozi pale Soweto na tuko pale kwa mradi. Kwa hivyo mimi niko pale kwa mradi kila siku asubuhi, jioni pia nikitoka lazima nihakikisha nimeangalia hizo nyumba zinajengwa vizuri. So that ningoje ukuje unipatie. Yes.
So yeye ako on the queue. Ametuharakisha, amesema hizi za Nakuru zimeenda haraka kuliko zao. So apale Soweto tutamaliza. Chief Inspector Judy.
Your Excellency, sir, Dr. Samoei Ruto, all protocols observed. Good afternoon. My name is Chief Inspector Judy Nyathira, a proud owner of the affordable housing in Bondeni within Nakuru. Your Excellency, sir, I want to thank you on behalf of the men and women in police uniform, for not leaving us behind out of this project. The history goes a long way, how the police live, from time immemorial in sharing, using a curtain, and you're sharing a house with your counterpart, no privacy, and a lot of issues going in there. From there, we were given again permission not to live in police lines and to go and rent houses outside. Your Excellency, that was a good step. But again, this is the greatest, where you're renting to own your own home. I'm proud that I've been in my home for more than a year, where I'm assured of my safety. In case I'm going to work outside, I know my family is okay. Social amenities, they're perfect. Water running all through, the lighting system, enough space, a place for children to play, and they can feel the comfort and they can feel living like any other civilian out there. So I must appreciate that it is a good step. All civil servants should go for it because it is changing lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, maybe you can just have a quick word.
You know, I have no words. You know, listening to my sister here, Lillian, you know, as a CHP, a community health promoter, you know, the dedicated service that community health promoters do around Kenya, and that she's, through the process, she's now a homeowner with her children, is dignifying. It is a moment of pride, not just for her, but for us as a nation, that we can look after the people who not necessarily would have a chance to own a home. She now has a chance because of affordable housing. And in her space now, Lillian, where are your kids school going? Are you?
They are still at Nakuru. They're schooling at Nakuru. Yes.
So you want us to complete the school soon?
Kindly, like the school thing should be a priority, because I've noticed that watu wengi hata hawajaingia because of the school. Because unaona hiyo kucommute within Ruben to Nakuru, it's a bit far, and it's expensive also for us. So if you can do a school for us, Your Excellency, we'll be very proud.
Very good.
And,
how far are we with the school, Charles?
The one we agreed, the ECD, which we will use as the primary school, you had directed us that in 1 month time it be completed, and it is being completed.
Very good.
So in 1 month time they should
So
be.
Lillian, just bear with me a few more weeks, and then your kids will be safe in your neighborhood.
I'll be very, very happy. And
Thank
also the market, sir.
There are people who have a problem with me putting up a market. Can you please make a case for me to put up the market?
Me, I will. Because we have seen the containers, they are already there, but now their location and stuff hatujaona bado, Mr. President. And the market is very, very far. Yes.
So you need the market within the development.
Everything, all the amenities.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Listening to Maureen, we are developing the first 4,000 units in Soweto. We have, I think, a total of 25,000 units that will be built in that space.
Correct.
And we have done, the 4,000 units hopefully will be ready, and I've given instructions to my team, Alice here and Hinga, that by January we should be able to give out the first 4,000 units.
Yes, you've got it.
And then the other units are following. So huyu mama umesikia amesema anachungulia kila wakati akipita hapo, nataka kuangalia hii nyumba itaisha lini, kwa sababu anangojea.
Yes.
Sasa vile niliwaeleza, sitaki Maureen angoje sana. Ndio amekuja hapa nafikiri kuniambia niharakishe mambo.
Yes.
So Maureen, nilikuwa hapo juzi hapo Soweto. I think like 3 weeks ago I was in Soweto. And nataka uwaeleze wale watu wa Soweto. Mimi nawaheshimu sana. Wakati niliona yani watu wa Soweto wanaishi pale, wanakuja wenyewe kusema wacha niandike jina yangu, mimi niko tayari kuondoka mahali ninaishi hapa, nyumba ikiwa tayari mimi nitarudi. You know, that kind of cooperation that citizens themselves are saying, I am ready to live where I am staying, to go and live elsewhere. And I want my name recorded so that when the houses are complete, I come back and live in a decent house. Waambie wale watu wa Soweto, Mungu atawabariki sana, kwa sababu ya kukubaliana na sisi, kusema ya kwamba mahali wanaishi wako tayari kuhama, tuwajengee nyumba mzuri, nyumba ile iko na dignity, wawache kuishi mahali ambapo hakuna barabara, hakuna maji, hakuna stima, hakuna choo, hakuna mambo yote ambayo mnahitaji. So ukirudi tafadhali utawaambia nimewapigia salute. Utafanya hivyo Maureen? Alafu naona uko na maneno na mimi.
Niko na maneno na wewe, nataka tu kuappreciate kwa hii mradi yenye umeleta. Sisi yetu itakuwa tofauti kwa sababu pale sisi tuko na shule, sisi tuko na market, sisi tuko na place ya kupumzika ukifikiria mafikirio yako ya maisha. Yani we just can't wait to be in that estate. So mi wanga niko very eager kabisa. Though kuna watu wanaweza kuwa wanaongea mambo mingi ati utapata nyumba, lakini us we believe that we are the owners na tunataka ku embrace kabisa hii mradi. And that's why tukikuja last time after 3 weeks kila mtu alikuwa anataka, kwa sababu anaona mradi nyumba inasonga, and everybody wants to be an owner of the house in Nairobi. So furaha yetu ni tutoke kwa hiyo mabanda zetu, kwa sababu kama hata sasa niko hapa lakini niko na wasiwasi because lately tumekuwa na breakages za moto. So sasa hata nafikiria naweza rudi tena nipate kanyumba kangu kamechomeka. So
afadhali tutoke kwa hiyo situation ya life yenye tumekuwa tukiishi, tuishi kwa dignity houses. So kama hii ni dream yako ulikuwa nao kutoka ukue kijana, His Excellency, endelea bila break.
Sana. And you know, I think the passion that everybody, you know, owning a home is the ultimate passion of any citizen. You know, that you have a place that you call yours, you know. And on to what Judy, and I apologize, Judy, because my peers here have said corporal. Corporal is you are a very senior person. But titles aside, I was very proud when I came to Bondeni, and you welcomed us to your home with your family, and it was a very proud moment. And not just Judy, you know, our men in uniform, men and women in uniform, for decades lived in conditions that do not befit the kind of sacrifice they make for us. They keep our families safe, they keep our country safe, they go out of their way to make sure that there is law and order in our country, and yet we don't reciprocate. It is the reason why we are implementing several programs targeting our men in uniform, men and women in uniform, improving their terms and conditions of service, which we are on course, making sure that we assist them with the modernization of their equipment, which we are on course. We have already spent about 9 billion shillings in that process. And of course, making sure that they are part of our housing program. And as PS has said, we have rolled out specific housing targeting our uniformed officers. 27,000 houses are being built for the police, 10,000 houses are being built for the prisons, 20,000 housing units. I'll be launching 10,000 next week for the military. And we are looking at making sure that our men and women in uniform have a place to call home. And Judy here is one such example. And maybe just so that I put it in my own perspective, Judy, as you look at your colleagues, is there anything that you think we can do better now that you have a one-year experience in living in your own home? Do you think there are areas of improvement that you can suggest to me?
Your Excellency, most of my colleagues are willing to acquire these houses. But one problem, maybe the challenge they have is financial support. Maybe if they could be given an opportunity because they've overcommitted their payslip, maybe they could be given a facility where they're given, which is flexible, they're loaned some amount so that they can be able to acquire the houses. The financial aspects are.
So you're talking about the mortgage?
Yes.
And we have, can you talk about the mortgage, Hinga, speaking to what Judy has said?
So, Your Excellency, a couple of things. What makes the issue of affordability a few things? One is the cost of land. There is a study by the Center for Affordable Housing in Africa that shows Nairobi has the most expensive land in the continent of Africa. But also, Your Excellency, in our country, we also have a lot of inequalities in terms of earning. A majority of Kenyans earn very little. So you have a situation where the cost of land is very high, and you have got very low income. And that leads to the proliferation of slums. Now, to address that, you have got to look at what you call the demand side of housing and supply side. Now, allow me to start with the supply, which is you have got to do something on the cost of land, and that is why, Your Excellency, through your leadership, we have zero-rated the cost of land. Land is a big barrier to ownership. So when you start a conversation by saying that you will not pay for the land, it's a big stride into one's home ownership. The second thing, Your Excellency, is the cost of construction. cost of construction is prohibitive. And part of the reason why cost of construction is prohibitive is because on one side, you have got factors you cannot control. You know, global pricing for fuel, cement, and so on and so forth. But there are others we can control. The ones that you can control, for example, in our sector, VAT, and I hope I'm not going to get very complicated, VAT is what is called a real cost. Because when you build a house and you sell, there is no output tax, but there is input in the material. So in other words, when you buy cement, the cement comes in with VAT, the bag of cement. But you're not able to offset with an output because there is no output. So essentially, the cost of VAT goes straight to the buyer. Through your leadership, you have said that we zero rate the input taxes, which is also brought down affordable. In fact, it has reduced the cost of construction by 10%. The other one, Excellency, is the issue of public funding. We know that one of the reasons why Kenyans were fought so hard is because, you know, we have not covered ourselves in glory. You know, we have built projects at very high cost. You said from the beginning that one of the areas that we have to bring in trust to the people is cost. And what you did, you called 7 institutions. You called in Nairobi University, you called in Technical University of Kenya, you called in Kenyatta University, AAK, which is the Associate of Architects, IQSK of QSs, IEK, you had National Construction Authority, and you had National Housing Corporation. And you asked them to design for you a house and to give you a market cost. Your Excellency, I want to confirm that since we started this program, we actually have fixed the cost of the unit. So, and it is determinable, and anybody who wants to construct, there is no seeing the PS on the side, we disclose the price of that. What that has done, Your Excellency, is that it has meant that today there is a social housing unit that costs 640,000 shillings. Now, when you talk about 640,000, people can afford. The World Bank here, Your Excellency, did a study in 2017, which is titled Unaffordable and Unavailable. In that study of 2017, it showed that the average cost of a house in Nairobi was 11 million. So you've moved from 11 million to 640. That is a significant difference. That's why you have Jerusha and Lillian here who are homeowners today. Then, Your Excellency, you have the demand side. The demand side is about the cost of financing Kenyans. Your Excellency, before this program, and we have been having a high interest rate regime, interest rates for people who had homes reach even 20%. Under your program, you have got 3 interest rate regimes. You have got a social housing, which is 3%, fixed. So even if in 10 years, the interest rates in the country goes to 30, this person will still be paying 3%. It is fixed. The other one is affordable housing, which is 6%, again fixed. And then for everybody else who is in the market units, like myself, and anybody else who is interested, it is at 9%. So the most expensive mortgage you will get is at 9%. The last part is the tenure, the how long you pay. Now, in this country, Your Excellency, we've not had long-term mortgages. Again, through that study from the World Bank, it showed that the average tenure of a house was 7.5 years. So if you have got expensive land, expensive construction amount, which leads to 11 million, in expensive interest rate, that's why, Your Excellency, for a country of 50 million Kenyans, you have only 30,000 mortgages. So those things don't happen by accident, they happen because the system is broken. So what you have done is we have reduced all those things. So what does that translate to? It translates to Jerusha paying 2,800 shillings for her house. This is the same amount of money that she was paying for that shack. She also pays service charge and pays for insurance. So anything that happens to that house, she is covered. So the total amount that she's paying is 3,800. That is how much she is paying to be a homeowner. And that is what she was paying for a shack. Then you have got Chief Inspector Judy, who we give them allowances for our police. They get about 9,000 shillings on average. Obviously, it differs. At 9,000, Your Excellency, she can now afford to get our 2-bedroom housing unit, which is around that same amount. So this program, Your Excellency, has got something for everybody. It would have been easy if you had said, let's just deal for the high income. But whether you're in the slum, whether you are selling mama mboga, you start from 2,800, you go all the way to 15,000 for a 3-bedroom, which has got all the amenities, Your Excellency. It has got electricity, it has water, it has gas, it has internet.
I think contextualize this for Judy and our men and women in uniform and other Kenyans who are looking at this product. When we said that it will be possible to own a home and pay 3,800, people thought we were mad. In fact, many people were wondering, because it has never happened in Kenya. People know if you want to own a home, the average home in Kenya was 11 million. You needed 40, 50,000 to be able to own a simple home. Today, Cherusha here, Lillian there, are homeowners. They pay 3,800. You know, it doesn't look real, but that's what it is. Why? Because of the 4 factors Charles has said. Number 1, we brought the cost of land to 0. That was contributing 30% of the cost of the house. We've reduced taxes. We've taken away 10% of what the house used to cost. We have brought down the cost of construction. You know, we were building houses for 80,000 shillings a square foot. Under affordable housing and social housing, under this program, as Charles told you, we sat down with many institutions, and I was very clear to them that we do not have money to throw around. Let us cut to the chase. We came up with 42,000 shillings per square foot. Many contractors told us it is not possible to do houses at that rate. The houses are coming up. We have 150,000 under construction because it is doable. And the commitment I made to the people of Kenya is that as they contribute to the housing levy, as they contribute their housing levy, it is my responsibility to make sure that that money is not wasted, is not stolen, is not abused, and there is no corruption, and they get value for it. And that is my commitment. And I have told Alice here, and I have told Charles here, that if you award any house under this program beyond 42,000 shillings per square foot, I will not send the police. I will come myself. Yes. Because that is the kind of attachment I have put on this housing program. And so, to my sister Judy, we have improved the program further. You know, we had a program where the houses were built under a different program. We've now improved the program further. Your colleagues will now get a better rate as before. I know we have KCB here as part of our partners. Is KCB around in the room? Yes, KCB is there. An average mortgage in Kenya was 18%. Working with KCB and other housing finance and others, what is the mortgage now, my friends, there? 9.5%, is that right? So we have moved mortgage because these good people have realized that we are providing a pipeline. You can sit down. We are providing a pipeline of houses, and we are guaranteeing, I think under KMRC and all the other, we are making sure that that program rolls out properly. And as Hinga has told you, for Cherusha here, her mortgage is at 3%. For Lillian there, it is at 3%. There is nowhere you can get a mortgage at 3% unless under this program. For those in the affordable housing category, it is 6%. And for the people in the market space, it is 9%. So even for citizens, and I said it during Madaraka, even for citizens who are not even in the affordable housing program, even in citizens who have just their own mortgage, now we can subsidize their mortgage to 9% up to 5 million shillings of what they owe, so that we can bring as many contributors to the housing levy into the bracket as possible, as many of them as possible. So I think without complicating the whole thing, I think Judy and your colleagues, apart from the housing development that we are doing to house our policemen when they are in service, they now have an opportunity for them to own houses like all other Kenyans are doing, and Judy here is an example. And so that is the horizon that we have for people, men and women in uniform. We have also made a policy decision that to support them, 20% of all the other housing units, we are also going to make it available for them to be able to, because we have close to 300,000 men and women in uniform serving in different parts of the country, and the service they are giving to us, as they look after us, we must also look after them. And thank you very much, Judy, for being a champion for the affordable housing program. And I am sure your colleagues are going to benefit the way you have. And finally, I don't know, oh yeah, those are the people I've talked. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Your Excellency, I want to switch gears a little bit. You know, when this debate about housing came, it also came in at a time when the economy was misbehaving. And we saw there were demonstrations because the cost of living was very high. And a lot of people were saying, why housing and why housing now? And I think there is a very important conversation, Your Excellency, about the economics of housing. FDR, during the Great Depression, the president of America, got America out of the Great Depression through focusing on housing. When President Obama, during the Great Recession of 2008, they got America out of the Great Recession because they built. And so, as we switch gears a little bit, Your Excellency, we have four gentlemen here that represent millions of Kenyans who wake up every morning and try and make a living through the Juakali sector. The informal businesses, Your Excellency, actually make up about 80% of all the workforce. Now, majority of them don't have access to mainstream banking because they have got lumpy cash flows. Outside this program, owning a home will have been a pipe dream. So, Your Excellency, without getting into very philosophical issues about the economies of housing, I want them to introduce themselves a little bit. But there is just something, Your Excellency, which I don't know whether when we designed the program, we had, it's what I call an unintended consequence. And the unintended consequence is that you talked about giving them an opportunity to work because unemployment was very big in Kenya. Most of them are working on those construction sites. And we thought giving them a job, first of all, they will have a living where they are. These four gentlemen, two of them are homeowners. So they built the windows where they are staying now, today. And I think that is really a powerful transformation of this program. So I'm going to ask Peter Mwangi, who is the chairman of Bahati Association. And then I'm going to ask Stephen Opio from Marigoine, who also, collectively, they had a contract of almost 200 million shillings. Excellency, we're talking about millions. We're talking about shillings. And Juakali people are dealing now with millions. And then I have got the chairman of that association in Kenya. We have given them a contract of 11 billion shillings. 11 billion shillings. I think this is the new place to be in. So allow me then to ask them to speak in their own words, and then I'll ask Pastor Baraza to wrap up, because he's also part of the Soweto group in Kibera, that you gave them a check during last year's Mashujaa Day. You gave them a check of 722 million to do the fabrication of doors, windows, and balustrades in Kibera for Soweto. So Peter Mwangi, in that order, please.
Your Excellency, all protocols observed. Hamjambo. Nashukuru kupata fursa hii kuwa na nyinyi hapa, kuja kutoa ushuhuda ya kuwa kweli kazi imefanyika, porojo tuweke kando. Mimi kama Engineer Peter Mwangi kutoka Nakuru, ndiye chairman wa Great Rift Bahati Welders. Narudisha shukrani kubwa kwa Mheshimiwa Rais, ukiongozwa na serikali yako tukufu, na madam wetu Governor Susan Kihika, tunakushukuru sana. Umetushikilia sisi pale mashinani kama wanajua kali. Tumeweza kupata mradi wa zaidi ya milioni 18. Great Rift Bahati Welders, nikiwa chairman wao, nimeweza kuwaongoza vema. Kile kikundi kimesajiliwa na zaidi ya workshop 56 ambazo ziko pale. Mheshimiwa Rais, ukipata nafasi utakuja utajionea mwenyewe. Tunashukuru manake wale vijana ambao walianza kazi pale, wengine walikuwa vijana barubaru, hawaelewi kazi. Wengi wao sasa ni mafundi shupavu. Mafundi wale wengine pia wameweza kufungua workshop zao. Tumewatrain vizuri. Wale ambao walikuwa hawana mashini wamepata mashini mpya za kazi, na wamepata ufundi vile vile. Kwa hivyo tunajivunia kuwa tunaendelea vizuri. Tunaomba ukipata nafasi, sisi hatutaomba gari kama yule mwanadada. Sisi tunajiamini kama maengineer. Tunaomba utupe kazi zaidi. Panapopatikana project nyingine katika Bahati tu ambao tunatarajia kuwa inakuja, kumbuka watu wa Great Rift Bahati Welders, manake tulifabricate, tumesupply, tumedeliver. Hivi project inakwenda kwisha. Ukija mwenyewe utaona. Naomba utualike sisi pamoja na ile group yetu ya Great Rift Bahati Welders, uje uone kazi ambayo ilichapwa pale na watu wa jua kali. Challenge hatukukosa kidogo pale wakati wa kudeliver kazi ya kwanza. Ule mradi wa kwanza ulikuwa LPO ilikuwa ya 2.5 million. Ikawa lazima tungeungana kama watu wa jua kali, manake ungeweza kupewa kazi pale individually. So tulijiunga na tuliweza kuregister na MSHA, Small Micro Enterprise Authority. Tuko na pini yetu pale. Hata sisi tunajua kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. Tuko sawa sawa, tunakwenda vizuri. Ningependa tu kusisitiza ya kwamba challenge ambayo tulikuwa nayo pale kama vijana wadogo, hatukuwa na fedha za kuanza ile kazi. Manake tumepewa LPO worth 2.5 million, hatuna hela, lakini tulijikakamua. Tukasema hii serikali, manake tuliichagua sisi. We work with the government of the day. Lazima tuamue, tutafute hela, tuuze kuku, tukope kwenye SACCOs kidogo kidogo. Lakini tulipofaulu kudeliver the first lot, ilikuwa zaidi ya madirisha 350, na tulifanya hiyo kazi na wiki 2. So ile pesa tuliweza kuipata, ikaingia kwenye account yetu, maana kile kikundi kiko na account. Tukaweza kulipwa, tukalipa madeni ya bank, tukalipa wale suppliers wetu wakati ambao unafaa. Japokuwa tulikuwa tumeahidiwa pesa zitatoka na wiki mbili, lakini ilichelewa kidogo ikatoka na mwezi mmoja. Tukaelezewa na tukaweza kuelewa lazima wangeangalia tulipo supply. Ni vizuri kuelezea hapo, maanake tulikuwa hatujafikisha ule ustadi vizuri. Waliangalia kama tuko na speed, accuracy, wakaona makosa kidogo tu katika ile kudeliver 100%, 75% ya zile dirisha zetu zilikubalika. So 25% zikawa rejected, lakini ikawa ni makosa kidogo tu, kupiga msasa, sandpaper, kuangalia rangi. Kutoka hapo kazi ikawa iko shwari. Mafundi wote wamebobea, wako shwari. Hivi sasa wengi wao wamejisimamisha kikazi, tunachapa kazi vizuri.
Thank you so
Kwa hivyo
much.
sisi tunaomba kazi, kazi, kazi. Gavana wetu tunakushukuru sana, umetushikilia vizuri. Vijana ambao walikuwa na regarega pale sasa wanachapa kazi vizuri. Mkija mtajionea wenyewe, porojo kando, siasa kando, kazi itambe.
Asante sana. Thank you very much, Peter. Peter, umeongea vizuri sana. Na umesema mambo matatu ya muhimu. Yes. Ya kwanza, wakati tulisema mpango huu wa affordable housing, sio peke yake ipatikane nyumba. Vile vile ni mpango wa ajira na mpango wa biashara, economic activity, uweze kuendelea. Mbali na wale wanaofanya kazi katika mjengo, plumbers, electricians, masons, steel fixers, carpenters, painters na wale wengine wote. Yeah. Pia kuna sekta ya jua kali ambayo sasa ni Peter na wenzako mafundi kabisa, ambao pia mmepata biashara. Umesema pale kwa ile affordable housing ya Bahati tunajenga nyumba pale nafikiri 220 ambayo ni kweli kwa juhudi zenu, bidii yenu na contribution yenu sasa imekamilika
kabisa.
So mbali na kupatikana ajira kwa vijana wa taifa letu la Kenya, pia ni mpango wa msisimko wa uchumi. Watu kama wewe waweze kufanya biashara, mafundi waweze kutengeneza zile nyumba. So ya kwanza ipatikane ajira
kabisa.
Ya pili biashara iweze kusonga mbele. Lakini vile vile tulisema hivi, affordable housing does not mean low quality.
True.
That is our clerical. Affordable housing means you get the same quality as any other housing. Na ndio sababu uliona Peter, yes, pale pia kulikuwa na kusahihisha kabisa. Kama mlilete kitu ambayo iko quality yake iko chini kidogo, ndio hiyo unasema mliambiwa muende mrudie.
Kweli kabisa.
You know? Yeah. Na kwa kurudia hivyo sasa unasema wewe mwenyewe mumeshika kasi, sasa mumeelewa vile mambo ilivyo. Si ni kweli? Kabisa. So which is part of what we want to achieve. We want to support technicians, people like Peter, engineers, to improve on the quality of their products. Because there are many people who thought jua kali was synonymous to low quality. We also want to firm up that our jua kali artisans can produce products that are of the same quality as those that come from elsewhere. And the group of Peter is such example. And then number 3 is as we improve on the quality of the output, we also provide training. Umesikia Peter hapa amesema ya kwamba vijana ambao walikuja mwanzo bado hawakuwa mafundi kamili. Na sasa tuko na program ya serikali ya recognition of prior learning. Hawa vijana ambao sasa wamehitimu, sio kwa kwenda shule, wamehitimu kwa kufanya hiyo kazi under supervision ya senior ones like Peter. Hawa vijana sasa watapata certificate yao. Already we have recognized I think 1,000 of such technicians, and we are continuing using public infrastructure to make sure that we certify those who have the skills to produce high quality products, even though they have not gone to any college, you know. So we have now provisions in the law, and correct me if I'm wrong,
right.
Charles, that's the correct position. And that is why Peter here can confirm that some of his, the people working with him who did not have the requisite qualifications, now they have improved on their skills, and now we are going to certify them, and they will move on to the next project. Let me give you the good news, Peter.
Yes, sir.
We are not just completing the housing units in Bahati that are there. We have now advertised and awarded a new project of how many units, Charles?
The Bahati one, phase 2 is 2,000 units.
Another now, forget about, you have now 10 times what you had before. Sawa. So you had 200, now there is 2,000 units right there in Bahati. So sharpen your skills, ongea na watu wako, wapange hawa vijana, na you might need more than 50 workshops. Because if you needed 50 workshops to do 200 units, anza kufanya hesabu. 2,000 units, workshop ngapi, vijana wangapi, utawahitaji. Tunaelewana?
Tashukuru sana Rais.
Tumesema kazi. Na tulikubaliana kazi ni kazi.
Kazi ni kazi, Rais.
Yes. So tuendelee.
Maana niko hapa Rais kuwakilisha wale vijana.
Yes.
Wataniuliza wewe ulikwenda itisha gari? Waliniambia hatutaki gari sisi. Sisi tunataka kazi. Maana kazi ndio pesa, Rais. Kazi ndio pesa.
Yes. Na ndio itakununulia hiyo gari,
utatupatia gari.
Yes.
Ukiniona Rais nikiwa hapa kama mwakilishi, naomba kwa heshima kubwa nisimame. Ukambi kameanza kushuka.
Asante sana. Asante sana Peter.
Okay.
Lakini mimi naona
vijana wanang'ara.
Mimi naona tutafanya hivi.
Yes sir.
Naona utaniona kando uninunulie lunch.
Asante. Fungu ninalo Rais.
Uko na kitu?
Kitu nalo. Najivunia kuwa na Rais hapa karibu.
Asante sana.
Yes sir.
Thank you so much.
Who's the next guy?
Steve. We'll have Steve, and then we'll have Peter Mwema, and then we'll have Baraza. Steve Opio. We have 2 Steves here. Opio?
Yes, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Cabinet Secretaries, honorable members,
all protocols observed.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mimi nashukuru sana kwa fursa hii. Mkuru tuna shine. Na nikianzia kwamba wakati unaenda kunulia Jerusha gari, mimi tayari mtanipata hapo ndani. Mtanipata hapo ndani nikienda kununua yangu. Now, His Excellency, kazi ya Mkuru tunashukuru sana kwa sababu wengi hawakufikiri hii kazi itakuwa kazi. Siasa iliwekwa ndani mingi sana, His Excellency. So ikawa vijana wakaogopa, tukashindwa tutafanya aje. Tukawa na ile bidii. Mr. Kipuri akatusukuma kabisa kutoka State Department. Tukaenda pale tukapewa contract. Sasa tunafanya kazi. We have delivered first LPO and now tuko kwa second LPO 5 million. We are working out on it.
So you are supplying, muna supply nini kwa
windows and doors.
Windows and doors.
Yes.
And you know what we did also to reduce on expenses, we standardized. Is that correct?
Yes.
We standardized. Unajua zamani tulikuwa tunajenga designer windows.
Yes.
Na designer doors.
Yes. Every door is different from the other one. And as a result, you know, everything designer is more expensive. So tukasema tuachane na designer, let us standardize all the windows to be the same. All the doors to be the same. So kazi ya hawa inakuwa rahisi kuhakikisha kwamba you can produce in mass. Yes.
Na inakuwa rahisi kwenu kufanya hiyo kazi.
Yes.
Ndivyo my good friend?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Ni hivyo, eh?
Yes.
So ya kwanza LPO mumedeliver?
Tumedeliver.
Ya pili ndio mnang'ang'ana nayo?
Tunang'ang'ana nayo. Na tukideliver tunalipwa.
Mnalipwa?
Yes.
Inachukua muda gani kulipwa baada you deliver?
Tukideliver inamaliza 1 week.
1 week unapatiwa
check? Yes, tunapatiwa check.
Contract yenu kwa hii program ni contract ya pesa ngapi in total?
Sijajua ni contract ya pesa ngapi.
Yes, lakini unajua tu ya section yako?
Yeah, unajua section yangu.
5 million?
5 million nikimaliza hii
unakuja
wengine ya as we go.
Okay, very good. Kundi lako liko na vijana wangapi ambao mnafanya pamoja katika hiyo section?
Vijana tuko na vijana 50 in different workshops.
Yes.
Yes.
How many workshops?
We have 4 workshops.
4 workshops.
Yeah.
Pale nyuma, Steve.
Yes.
Kabla ya affordable housing.
Yes.
Mambo yalikuwa vipi?
His Excellency, maisha ilikuwa magumu sana pale. Tunaweza fanya kazi kama like this month. Then tunakaa kama 2 to 3 months again ndio tupate another contract. So inamaanisha ile pesa umepata this month unaitumia kwa hizi 2-3 months. So inakusukuma unaenda kuishi kwa ile maisha ya chini. Unatafuta nyumba unaenda kijiji unatafuta zile nyumba za chini. Sababu sasa kulingana na vile maisha inakupeleka, kazi hakuna, ukipata leo kesho hakuna, ile pesa umepata leo unatumia the following day and the month. So wakati kazi ilipokuja tukasema tukapiga mahesabu zetu sisi viongozi wa hapo na wanajua kali wenye tulikuwa. Tukasema tuache siasa. Tupige mahesabu zote. Kazi tunafanya kazi bila break. Tumepewa kazi tufanye non-stop na tuweke siasa tufanye kazi venye tulikuwa tunafanya once after 3 months, once after 3 months. Mnachagua gani? Wakasema wanataka kufanya kazi bila break. So in Nakuru we are working non-stop. We want to work non-stop mpaka tumalize contract.
Very good. Asante sana. What is your plan? Uko na agenda ya kununua one of these houses ama bado hujafikiria?
His Excellency, I'm already a beneficiary of these houses.
Oh, you're already a homeowner?
I'm already a homeowner. Unakumbuka nikisema nitaenda kuleta familia yangu kutoka nyumbani. Sababu niliwapeleka nyumbani juu ile maisha tulikuwa tunaishi. Ugonjwa kila wakati, nyumba zikiungua, access ya zimamoto inakuwa poor. So nikaona hii wacha tuende nyumbani, familia watoto wasome nyumbani. Then ndio nitajipanga polepole.
Wewe ungangane Nairobi?
Ningangane Nairobi. Lakini Mungu akatangulia mbele.
Sasa familia iko wapi?
Familia wako nyumbani na ngoja mtoto wamalize term and then niwalete sasa. Kwa sababu
sasa mambo iko sawa?
Mambo iko sawa kabisa, Excellency.
Okay, unalipa pesa ngapi kwa hii nyumba yako?
Hii nyumba yangu nalipa 3800 Kenya shillings.
3800.
3800 Kenya shillings. At the same time, nyumba inabaki kwa yangu.
Yes.
Yes.
Na pale ulikuwa unaishi, pale ulikuwa unapanga?
Penye nilikuwa naishi hapo awali, nilikuwa nalipa nyumba 3500. Lakini poor drainage, nyumba ni mabati, kuki, in case of any disaster, access hata ya wenye wanakuja kutuokoa ni shida. Hata mtu anaweza kuja kutuokoa pale, ushtukie gas tena imelipuka tena pia kufia pale ndani.
So ulikuwa unalipa 3500?
3500.
Nyumba ya mabati?
Nyumba ya mabati.
Mahali hakuna barabara?
Mahali hakuna barabara.
Na nyumba si yako, ni kupanga, ni rent?
Na kupanga ni rent, unanunua maji, kila mtungi ni 10 shillings. Unalipa zile stima unalipa ni ile illegal connection yenye stima ikipotea ikirudi inarudi na
kisirani.
Inachoma kila kitu. TV yako unasikia imelipuka, radio imelipuka, ukiweka charger kwa nini imelipuka nao. His Excellency.
Sasa umetoka hapo, sasa uko 3800 nyumba yako.
Nyumba yangu. Nikifika pale, saa hizi venye tunafanya kazi, naweza fanya kazi mpaka late hours. Saa zingine ninachukua Uber ya motorbike kama gari. Wakifika pale wanauliza kwani unaishi wapi, unanipeleka this time, where are we going? Anauliza no, I'm staying here. Are you staying here? Unaniambia unaishi hapa? No, hebu nipe namba yako, you will connect me. No shortcut, just go to boma yangu, open account, deposit.
Yani ule mtu ya kukupeleka nyumbani anashangaa, anaona kama umepotea.
Anashangaa, anaona kama nimepotea. Kwa sababu mbele hakuna kijiji. Akiangalia hizo nyumba construction inaendelea. Na hizi zingine zimemaliziwa lakini aone kama watu wanaishi ndani. Nao anauliza unaenda wapi? Ambia nimefika. Na unaishi wapi? Naishi kwa hizi nyumba. So wacha tu tumalizana nikulipe urudi. Unaishi kwa hizi nyumba mpaka wanafika mpaka kwa gate, wanaona kama ni
kama unaingia kweli ama
naingia ndani. So just ni wako kwa gate, wananifungulia gate, naingia na acha akipiga kona akirudi. Lakini ndio apige kona na niangalia mpaka aone kama naingia kwa nyumba ukweli.
Kwa sababu hawaamini ati mtu ya kufanya kwa workshop ya jua kali ati anaweza
hii workshop, hii kazi yetu ya welding, watu walikuwa wanaona kama ni kazi ya chini sana. Mtu hawezi piga hatua. Na venye ulikuja na hii program, His Excellency, we are really thanking because imetuinua in the real sense. Saa hizi nikikuja nimekutana na PS pale nje. Akaniuliza, Odhiambo, ni wewe ama? Ananiangalia venye aliniona last time, niko tofauti. Yeah. Niko tofauti kabisa. So it is really true that this program ilikuwa ya kutinua kutoka pale chini kwenda pale juu. Na ni maisha imeitunia ukweli, because ukipata maji unalipa, ukipata stima iko pale, ukipata saizi nikitoka hata nikisahau kufunga nyumba kifuli, nikisahau, sina ile ya kwamba nitapata TV imeenda, radio imeenda, mattress zangu zimeenda. Mtu akikuja kuguza mlango yangu hivi, CCTV iko pale inamuona. So niko na full confidence kwamba nyumba yangu iko safe. Iko safe. Then parking kuna nafasi kubwa sana ya parking. Playground ya watoto iko. Soko iko. Now we are living in a very very good environment.
Asante Steve. Tupigie Steve kofi kwa sababu Your Excellency, wakati ulisema there is no application form to be born in a slum. And nobody chose to live there. But I think what you've done is given them a chance to live in dignity. I think you can see even the joy ambayo Steve ako nayo. So nataka tu tuongeze speed kidogo. Pande hii niongee na rafiki yangu Mwema hapa hivi. Mwema has a beautiful story, na lakini leo ndamwambia afupishe kidogo. Kwa sababu huyu Mwema, Your Excellency, hao ndio walianza ile jua kali ya kwanza. Pale Park Road. Mwema sasa ni homeowner, na kuna mahali tu ningetaka, kwa sababu wao wameongea mambo ile kandarasi wamepata ni the rest of the juakalis, the 11 billion shillings. And Your Excellency, sasa hawa wanajenga nyumba Uganda. Wako Uganda saizi, wanapeleka dirisha Uganda saizi. So this program, it's not just about the houses in Kenya, lakini Bwana Mwema in 1 minute.
Hello. Mheshimiwa Rais, CS, Governor, wananchi wote, amjambo. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Mimi majina yangu naitwa Peter Mwema Mudhaka. Mimi ndio naongoza hiyo kikundi inajiita Jua Kali Contractors Organization. Odhiambo na Peter ni wanachama na wamesaitika kama saa hiyo Odhiambo vile anasema hiyo kazi yake sisi ndio tunamtafutia pesa na kumfundishia mafundi kufanya. The same Peter ilikuwa kwao tukaona vile wanafanya, because we are the first guys who trained by the Chinese China state, na tukanjua vile tulikuwa tuna report straight kwa mbosi hapa PS, lakini ametuletea mambozi wengine wakali. Kwa jamaa hata kama saa 9 wamelala anakupikia simu, akipata chuma ile umetumia ni mbaya, anaitwa Engineer Baron ako pale. Yule ndiye anatuangalia kama ile mambo umesema ya chuma kama imeingia ile inatakikana, yeye ndiye anahusiana na hiyo maneno. Yes. Huyo halali, huyo amenisumbua mpaka saa 9. Chama ni uko wapi? Hebu amka tukaangalie kazi. Tuko na watu wengine wale wametusaidia. Kings Kifuri ako hapa, huyu tunafanya naye daily. Tumepewa yeye na PS, huyu ndiye anatuangalia. Mafundi wote wakiregister, wale wako na shida wako na sisi tunawatafutia. Tuko na mpango mzuri ule umeanzishwa because hapo before banks ilikuwa zimetuongopa. I think tulikuja State House tukakuelezea. Sasa hii unajua hiyo banks na tutafuta sasa. Kulienda hivi wakati tulikuja State House atukaambia PS na wewe kama tunashinda sana ya finance. Because hii mpango yetu haikuwa inaonekana kama itafaulu. Sasa hii ndio watu wameanza kuamini kama imefaulu. Iko banks likuja nyuma na zikatusaidia sana. Tunashukuru hata kama yuko hapa CD and CEO wanashege waliongea na PS akanituma kwake na amekumbali kupatiana kitu inaitwa Global Money kwa Jua Kali Kenya. Tumpigie makofi. Hiyo Jua Kali saa hii hatuna shida ya finance. Kuko na National Bank wameingia kwetu na tuko na Consolidated Bank ambao wameletwe na chairman wa Port House Bwana Njeri na akatukalisha chini akasema tupewe pesa mzuri. Na tuko na mpango pesa ya benki ipotee because we don't want the money right now. We need the bank credits. Suppliers ama manufacturers wanalipwa direct wanatuletee material. Na benki ndio zinawalipia mafundi wetu direct. Hata kama uko Kisumu unapata hiyo mpango umeanzishwa na hizo benki nimekuambia. Hiyo mpango imetengenezwa na Bwana Kivuri na chairman wa Port House na imepaulu. Hata mimi nikiwa hapa najua ile mandisha imejengwa na watu wa Eldoret. Nikiwa hapa mimi ni boss. Nikifungua laptop yangu naona ile kazi imeendelea. Sasa nimemwandama nikanjua ile kazi yote anataka kutupatia 11 billion. Nimemwambia machamani wangu wote wale wako hiyo area wakuwe ngangari because nawatumia report na nawaambia saa hii ametufanyia mzuri because tulikuwa tumebinywa sana na contractors. Kutulipa walikuwa wanatuchelewesha. And now the PS himself akaona hiyo shinda, tukienda mlango kwa square meter tunavinywa. Akaona yeye akatuambia sasa atakuwa anatupatia kazi direct yeye. So mashamani wote wale wako wana apply kazi kwa housing na wanapata na tunawatafutia pesa wanafanya. Finally mradi wa Kibira ndio tulikuwa na challenge kubwa kutoka ile last year ile tulipatia ile check pale. Ilikuwa na shida lakini yeye ametatua. Sasa hiyo ukienda pale Jua Kali ndio wako mbele. Hata developer mwenyewe anasema huyu Jua Kali sasa tuko mbele. Mimi nafurahia sana because kwa siku kwa wiki naenda kuangalia mradi ndio mkubwa yetu ya 720 million. Ile machango iko pale, hii group hii inakujanga kuona manyumba yao. Kila mtu anaangalia namba yake. Hawa kuna kupenda sana watu wa Kibra. I think pastor atasema mzuri. Pastor ndio chama ni kule tunasaidiana na yeye ndio tumalize hiyo mradi in time ndio watu waingie manyumba waache kulete shida ndio tuende zone asante sana.
Thank you so much. Okay, pastor usifunge na maombi lakini tuambie kwa kifupi tufunga baadaye.
Your Excellency, I will bring this thing to a conclusion on 2 grounds. Number 1, in the year 2022, October 25th, you came to Kibera, Soweto and launched the program. I received you as the chairman then, and most people were not optimistic, and they didn't believe that you will really put up the houses. But I had to encourage my people in that, in the previous regime where you were part of it, I will see you campaigning, and your greatest emphasis was on the issue of housing that you had promised people. So barely less than 1 month after you being sworn into the office and you came to launch the program, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Immediately, we began to encourage our people in Soweto East B to begin to save. The difference between us and other projects that are being undertaken under the affordable houses, ours is purely social houses. But our people are already saving for the houses. Example, I've already saved the 10%. I'm waiting for my house. My sister here, Wacha niongee kwa Kiswahili. Mimi ni mse wa kukam Kibera, Prezo. Mimi ni mse wa kukam. Niliingia Kibera nikiwa na 20 years. Saizi niko 46 years. So nimekuwa Kibera for 26 years. Huyu ni mzaliwa wa pale. Amesoma pale, wameishi pale na wazazi na wajua ni watu wa pale. But already kwa sababu ya kukua optimistic about the program, she has already saved the 10%. And that is why majority of Soweto people are waiting for their houses. Sisi hatupigi siasa president, tukisema itakuwa no. And I'm not saying this to please you in the presence of these people, but the truth is that over 4,000 people in Kibera Soweto East, Zone B, have already saved the 10% and they're waiting their houses. Now, recently the president visited us 2 weeks ago. And already we are doing a program for Zone C and Zone D, which has an equivalent of around between 12,000 and 14,000 people. And the houses that are going to be constructed there are 15,000 units. So if you calculate 15,000 units by a household of 7 people, kwa sababu kwa kijiji sisi tunazaa, hatujui kupanga uzazi. Mimi kwetu tulizaliwa 11, mimi nimezaa watoto 7, Adisa hapa wako 9. So ukiangalia president, the ripple effect of the houses you are building, bila kuweka siasa, this is a great impact. And I want to finish on this note, Bwana PS and Bwana President. Some of us, our parents, hawakutuachia manyumba ya kuinherit. And so when we see you building these houses, we really want to buy these houses because these are the things, manyumba ambazo tutachia watoto wetu. If you tell me to buy a house in Runda, I can't afford. You tell me to buy a house in Utawala, I cannot afford. But if I can pay a 10% of 150,000, and then the next 20 years, I'll be servicing a mortgage of 6,000 kwa 2-bedroom houses, kwa under social housing program, 6,000 per month for the next 20 years. Hata Mungu akinichukua leo, si yule kijana wangu daktari ambaye ni mkubwa, si ataendeleza hiyo kulipa hiyo mortgage. And so my late father passed on and he left me a grass-thatched house. I come from Ugenya West in a place called Ukwala. And thank you, Mr. President, for considering nilionyesha mali unataka kuweka affordable housing hapo kwetu Ukwala. And I want you to know, when he passed on, he left us nothing. But today I'm sure, because I'm a beneficiary, number A82, if you go to the slum upgrading department, our director is here, Madam Mary Ndongo, you will go and click, na utapata Stephen Odhiambo Baraza, structure number A82, I am the owner. I already done the 10%. So thank you, Excellency, Your Excellency, for bringing that program. Last and not the least, when Zone A was being constructed, which was handed over to beneficiaries in 2016 by the Grand Coalition government, which you were part of it, they did 822 units. When the construction was ongoing, Bwana PS, sisi tulikuwa naona milango, madirisha ikiletwa. We didn't even know what the contract was and how much it costed to build those houses. Right now, as a layman, I can comfortably tell you that our Zone B project is costing 7.5 billion. Thank you for the transparency. And on that same note, you've been able to give us the Juakali artisans who are down there a project worth 720 million. Saizi tuko na a semi-light industry. Unapata vijana wanafanya kazi. Wale vijana walikuwa natuomba chakula saizi wako too busy. Wengine wanapaka rangi, wengine wamefundishwa kazi. So this thing is a good thing. Last and not the least, a good preacher finishes 7 times, but this is the last one. I would want to say this, Mr. President. A lie will always keep on changing shoes, but the truth is stubborn. Truth will always walk barefoot. Continue walking barefoot. Continue building for Kenyans. Don't listen to the distractors and politicians. Some of them, they supported this program when they were campaigning. But what happened? That they say that the program is not a good program. That is a lie. Continue walking barefoot. Continue building. In the next 10 years, you will have housed over 700,000 families. And that will be a greatest impact. God bless you in Jesus' name.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. Tukutane pale March, nyumba yako itakuwa tayari. Wewe tayari umeshafanya mambo. Namwambia pia Maureen hapo amejipanga, tukutane, uchukue nyumba yako, uendelee na maisha. Na usikue na wasiwasi na mimi. I cannot be distracted. I am a man on a mission to transform this country. And no amount of noise, kelele, fitina, propaganda, sway mimi from delivering on this agenda. And I am willing to pay the price, whatever it is, to make sure that we transform this country and we house as many Kenyans as possible. So I give you my word on that. Number two, you have said with a lot of clarity that apart from building these houses, our mission was also to create jobs. Wewe mwenyewe umesema vijana walikuwa wanaomba chakula, sasa wako busy. Wanafanya kazi ya paint work, wengine wanafanya steel fixing, wengine wanafanya kutengeneza madirisha, kutengeneza milango, ni wafanyabiashara. People like Steve here have become homeowners, and those young people working in those spaces will also subsequently become homeowners. So that is the future that we all want to live. And you have also said something transformational. Kwamba, as we do this, we are giving you a chance to own a home where your father did not give you a chance to own a home. You now have a chance to own a home, and you can either transfer that home to your kid, or he can buy his as we roll out this program. You have also said something is going on in Ukwala. I want to tell you, we are not only building the market in Ukwala, we are also doing affordable housing in Ukwala. The home you ran away from. Tumefanya mambo pia pale. Unaona? So, this is not just about Nairobi and what's going on in Nairobi. This is about what is going on in Kenya. We have 200 sites that are going on today. In Ukwala, in Karagita here, and many other places. Because that transformation is a national transformation. And we have said, we are leaving no community, we are leaving no region, we are not leaving anybody behind. We are moving together. So, and Mwema there has spoken with a lot of clarity. One thing Pastor Steve here and Mwema have said is on what we are doing to make sure that even as we have the big contractors doing the big works, we have also been sensitive to know that there are small people, Juakali people, who many a times people don't pay attention to them because they are small people there. They are trying to make a window here, make 2 doors in a month, make 3 windows in a week. We were very deliberate in making sure that we agree with the contractors that as you do this job, the doors and windows and everything else will not be done by you. They will be done by the Juakali people. They will be done by the Juakali people because they are part of our society. And part of lifting people, part of this bottom-up agenda, bottom-up is not a slogan. No, it is reality. The person in the Juakali today who was making a door or 2 or 3 or 5 in a month, the Juakali person whose financial outlay, as Muhammad there says, was maybe 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. Today, Juakali has a contract of, in Soweto alone, 720 million. 720 million is a contract for corporates, ordinarily. big corporates. Now Mwema is reminding me, even them, they are now corporate. Which is actually just imagine how this program has corporatized what was Juakali. What small people who could not on their own, unless you pull them together, they couldn't handle such a big contract. Today, they are handling big contracts. My brother here, Peter, 18 million shillings. I am sure now, Peter, when we are doing the 2,000 units, that is going to be about 180 million. Sasa ujipange. Tunaelewana, boss? So I think this is really the new Kenya we are all living in. And this is the reality that we envisaged in our plan to make sure that we're transforming Kenya. I want to ask you people in this audience, and those of us who are watching from wherever it is that we are watching, all the things that have been said here, from Maureen to Lillian to Peter here, to Steve there, to Jerusha here, to my dear sister Judy, all those things that have been said is the work of 2 years. Just 2 years. Just 2 years. Tell me, good people, what's going to happen in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years. This nation will change. This nation will change. And that is why we need to be patient with ourselves. We need not to be judgmental. Many people want a quick fix. Instant coffee is good, but there is no instant house or program like this. It takes time. It takes good planning. It takes good thinking. We've had to delay Peter. We've had to tell Peter here, wewe kwanza hii kitu bado haijaiva, wewe umeleta ikiwa mbichi. Rudisha hii dirisha, enda nyorosha hivi, enda paint vizuri, ndio kazi iwe sawa sawa. Kwa sababu hatutaki affordable housing iwe low quality. We want to keep the quality high. So this is what we must, and transformation of a nation, good people, doesn't take a flash. Transformation of a nation takes deliberate steps and a plan and patience and being meticulous. Most importantly, having the courage to make sure that we overcome headwinds and challenges and bumps, because that's the nature of any transformation. And so I just want to tell the good people of our nation that I am very confident about the future. If this can happen in 2 years, just imagine what's going to happen in 5 and 10 and 20 and 30. And that is really what we need to look at as a people. There will be many more Jerushas here. There will be many more Steves. There will be many more of the people that we are seeing today. They may be a few people today, but the multiplier of time is going to get more of our citizens into this space. So I'm very happy about that. And I'm very proud about this moment.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. The joy is palpable. You can't fake this stuff. I know we've run out of time, and we are seriously out of time. And I still have our friends from the World Bank who at least they made a speech. And I just want to just give you a minute each, World Bank and UN Habitat. For the World Bank, you've been a great supporter of the urban agenda. This program costs money. The biggest impediment to the success of this program is the physical infrastructure. In 1 minute, how do you see the World Bank partnering with us, to support this program so that we don't build houses without the physical, especially the big trunk? And then my brother Ishaku, 1 minute, please. The Constitution of Kenya talks about, in Article 43, talks about adequate housing. in 1 minute, can you just explain what adequate housing, because it is nowhere else defined in any law in Kenya, but Kenya is a signatory to some of the protocols in the world, including the one to adequate housing. So you will be able to explain in 1 minute, and then Your Excellency, I will give it back to you so that you can sum it up here, and I'm sure there is nowhere else you want to be rather than here having this conversation. So, Country Director, and then Ishaku, and then back to you, Your Excellency. Thank you so much.
P.S. Even though I could not understand most of what these people were saying, I could feel the excitement and happiness and the joy that they have about the affordable housing program. I can also feel, Your Excellency, your passion and commitment to this program. Let me just say first that housing plays a pivotal catalytic role in urban transformation. It's not just housing, it's not just a shelter. It is the cornerstone of economic growth, job creation, and sustainable and inclusive urban development. No sustainable and inclusive urban development can happen without we at the World Bank, we're actually one of the biggest financiers globally for the housing sector, particularly for affordable housing. We've committed close to $30 billion across over 100 countries, and our IFC, our private sector arm, has also invested an additional $8 billion indirectly in housing. So it is a very, very important. You asked me the question, P.S., of what can we do to make sure that there's infrastructure in place. Affordable housing cannot be an adequate housing without access to the infrastructure, clearly. So I think a number of things. If you remember, the program we have, the Kenya Informal Settlements Improvement Project, a major part of that program, Your Excellency, it's actually about upgrading infrastructure in the informal settlements, with improvement in the land tenure security, which I think it's also crucial. The PS talked about the cost of land in building housing. So that's one really is about directly we're helping to support. Second, in the Kenya Urban Development Program we have, the Kenya Urban Support Program, both of Phase 1, Phase 2, it's really about improving the capacity of the municipalities. Ultimately, most of these infrastructures, whether it's water supplies, roads, electricity and street lighting, and water and sanitation, these are provided by the municipalities. It is the capacity of the municipalities both to plan and to get the financing and then to implement these programs so that they have access to adequate infrastructure. Ultimately, we also need to think about, Your Excellency, that as more and more these municipalities become large urban centers, we will need to think about the overall financing of cities and municipalities. They cannot and should not be relying entirely on fiscal transfers from the central government or from development partners. Ultimately, these municipalities have to have their own source of financing, and that ultimately depends on their ability to foster faster growth that can create jobs, that also create the kind of opportunities so that they can have the revenues to finance the infrastructure. There's no silver bullet, but I do believe there are important things that we can do to help to reduce the cost of infrastructure. You talked about the cost of construction in this country, whether these are the regulations on land acquisition, or the construction sector itself, and many of the materials that's needed for construction. Ultimately, we have to make doing business much easier in Kenya so that we can actually have higher growth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A hand of applause. Moneshaku.
Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Kenya, all protocol observed. As I start, I would want to borrow the President's remarks during the Nakuru launch, where you clearly articulated that you were moving people from slums to estates and homes. That is to say, you were not only taking people to 4 walls and a roof. The issues of adequate housing is enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. 193 countries have signed, including Kenya. So it's important to us to know that adequate housing means more than just the roof, but also what Jerusha was talking about, Lillian and the markets, is communities we're creating, livable communities. And those are people that we create aspirations, livelihood, and a lot of the associated activity. So human rights, it's not just war, it's about creating that dynamic community for people to chase their dreams, for people to aspire. And the affordable housing program, I see it as one of those acupunctures in urban development. As it's done, the transformative nature is immense. It's a generational change, because we've seen today, Your Excellency, you were talking about the Juakalis were creating entrepreneurs. He just talked about credit line. Credit line Juakali was not the case, but these are entrepreneurs for the future. And we also see wealth creation, because these houses in 20, they pass it to generation. This is now wealth creation. It's not about money in the bank, but you're creating generational wealth. That will be passed along the communities in Kenya. So it's important that we need to continue to work on those markets to create livelihoods for people to be able to link to the affordable housing. So for us at Habitat, we've already, as our executive director just mentioned, for the next 4 years, one of our focus is housing, and we will be partnering with you to add those value addition, to fine-tune certain things, but to also look at how do we create this body of capacity, experts of construction. How do we make them continue to develop in other arms? Because the skills that they've developed would not be only housing, it could be in other infrastructure, it could be other big development. So we're looking forward to continue to partner with Your Excellency and provide the support where needed, and to do the creation of that hub to now fine-tune, to do a lab. How do we do the knowledge management so that our next iterations will be finer and fine-tuned? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for our panel. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to give it back to the main chief architect of this program and the builder number one, His Excellency the President. You can close it for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think this program would not be the success it is without the input of many people. I cannot claim to take the credit. Many people have put this together. The leadership of Alice and especially Charles here at the ministry, the people of Kenya, the people who make their contribution to the housing levy, their hard-earned money. They are the greatest transformers of our nation. They take the credit for what Jerusha is today, what Steve is, and all the good people who are here. But to thank also our partners. The World Bank here has been a solid partner. We had the first session of this meeting 2 years ago. They were here with us. They have worked with us under different programs, making sure that, number one, the planning is correct so that we avoid
future slums by making sure that we support our counties to do the necessary planning, to provide physical infrastructure, as they have said, make sure that there are roads, make sure that they support our program in providing for physical infrastructure, and also for ownership, titling. They have supported our titling program, which again confers ownership to all the good people here. They will have a document which will signify their ownership of the spaces that they have. So World Bank, we want to say we are truly grateful. We look forward to working with you into the future as we, in the words of our UN rep here, Habitat, that we are making it better. We are working towards getting a hub so that what lessons we have learned today, we can use them to improve the output tomorrow. And progressively, that helps us to develop a better program, much more efficient, much more cost-effective, and better for the ultimate beneficiaries of this program, and also for the general good of our nation. And so, to everybody here, and I really sincerely want to thank all the people who have spoken here. You people are great, I know Peter here has had to stop his work at the workshop. I don't know how he's going to earn his pay today. But thank you very much, and Jerusha, for making time, and my good friend Peter here from Bahati, and Lillian, thank you very much for doing the CHP work that you're doing. And Maureen, I know you're waiting, but your wait is not going to be long. And Pastor, continue to pray for us so that this can succeed. And to all the people of Kenya and all the leaders who we are working together, the counties have been phenomenal. My sister Susan and all the governors, you've been, helpful to the members of parliament who supported this program. They passed the legislation, they interrogated the program, they provide oversight, they make sure that we spend the money well. The committee and all the members of parliament, I really want to very sincerely thank them. And all the contractors, the Juakali people and the people who support this program. One strange thing about this program, and forgive me if I have taken too long to talk about this program, just forgive me. I am passionate about this. We can have this conversation for another 3 hours. I will be home with it. But to thank all the contractors, I was saying one major thing about this affordable housing and all the markets we are building, and for your information, we're not just thinking about our men in uniform, we are thinking about all the other contributors in this space. We're also thinking about our boys and girls, our sons and daughters in universities, TVETs, Kenya Medical Training colleges. We are building spaces for 177,000 young people in our TVETs, our colleges, our universities, because we also recognize that some of our sons and daughters in these institutions live in conditions that are not good. And that is why we have a program to do hostels for them. They will be able to pay maybe the same amount they are paying in the informal settlements where they are staying at the moment, but they will now be in very decent shelter. The thing I was saying is, the most strange thing is none of the contractors in this space comes from outside Kenya. All the contractors doing our affordable housing today are Kenyan contractors. I mean, it's phenomenal. You would expect that you have big Chinese companies or some other companies from elsewhere. This affordable housing is being built by Kenyan contractors. And a very big thank you and congratulations to them. And to sum it up, is to say that going into the future, as I said, we have a pipeline of 700,000 housing units that is already where we have identified land. We are designing, we are working on improving from what we have today, learning what different configurations of housing that would make much more sense to more Kenyans. We're getting feedback from people like Cherusha and others who are living there. What is it that we can do better? And working with the UN, as they have said, doing a lab where we can, get more info, do more research, do a lot more R&D so that we can better deliver on this project. I just want to commit to the people of Kenya that we will make this program transparent. No public resources will be lost in this program. We will make it efficient. It is my commitment to make sure that this program will be above board. We will share as much information as possible. In fact, the construction costs are open. Before you even apply, we tell you, if you want to quote more than this, don't even waste your time, because we cannot accept any bids beyond what we have designed the house to cost us. And we also are very careful about quality. We are not going to take any substandard work. And I want to thank our professionals, the Institute of Engineers, the Institute of Architects. For your information, our Kenyan professionals have made a big contribution to the success of this program. They have reduced their fee from about 12% of the construction cost to 2.5%. That is a mark of patriotism. Because of the scale of what we are building, we negotiated with them. And I want to say this so that Kenyans can know that we have some patriotic Kenyans out there. Our engineers, our architects have provided their professional service to this housing program at 20% of the cost. Correct? I sat down with them. They looked at me in the eye. I looked at them in the eye and I told them, look, we are giving you a big job. This is our country. Let everybody make their contribution. They are the heroes of this project, those professionals. And they have kept the standards. I must commend them. They have kept the standards. And I want to tell them to continue making sure that the standards are high and we are not building anything that is substandard. And to finally tell the people of Kenya of my commitment, I will not allow anybody to define me in terms of time and terms and elections. No. This project is not about how many terms you serve or which elections come this way or that way. I want leadership in Kenya to be defined by how much impact we are making, how much transformation we are undertaking, and how good a foundation we are laying for generations to come. That is what Kenya should be defined. That is how leadership should be defined in Kenya. It's not how long you serve. It is not, all about those things. Is about how much of a difference are you making? How much of an impact are you making? How much transformation are we undertaking? And how solid a foundation are we building? Not for tomorrow, not for the next election, but for the next generation. That is my focus, and I want to encourage all of us as leaders to focus about the future. We have wasted a lot of time. We have wasted eternity chasing the next election, chasing the next most popular thing, and in the process, our country has suffered. We are going to change that trajectory by God's grace, and this country is going to go places. I am very happy to preside over the transformation of our country, and I want to encourage us to be part and parcel of this transformation. Asante sana, God bless you, and I wish you well.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I also want to take this chance to thank the audience. Your Excellency, I don't know whether you checked, the people stayed put. It means that this conversation was hitting all the right points. Thank you so much for being patient. God bless you. I'm going to hand over back to Michael as I request the rest of the team to go down, and then Your Excellency, you can remain so that you can take the national anthem.
Maybe before the team goes, Your Excellency, with your permission, if we can just take one photo. Allow me to invite the CS and Governor to join in this photo with His Excellency before we then conclude this particular session. And just for the sake of those who are remaining behind, the interactive sessions will be taking place after lunch, an hour after this. But for now, we'll take a photo, then call it a day with the anthem. We'll request that everybody else gets off stage. We leave His Excellency to take the anthem as our closing prayer this afternoon. Let us all be upstanding as we will now wind up with the national anthem. The anthem.